Let's see. Marks and traits of the cult guru. They do not typically like you doing well. What?
They are persecuting me. They do not have spiritual eyes to see. Therefore, they must take down what they do not understand.
That's that booger whistle, baby. They're energy vampires. That's that booger whistle, baby. I got a booger whistle flute. They're energy vampires. That's that booger whistle, baby. Oftentimes, the communal living that the guru demands doesn't match up to the guru who's driving around in a freaking Rolls Royce. What? How many swamis got a dang Rolls Royce? What?
I had vision last night. The ascended masters came down to me. They says, Swami, you are to get Rolls Royce.
That's that booger whistle, baby. They're energy vampires. That's that booger whistle, baby. I got a booger whistle flute. They're energy vampires. That's that booger whistle, baby. How many Rolls Royces you got? Get over there in that communal living. By the way, get out of my Rolls Royce. I heard he's got 14 Rolls Royces. And by Monday, he would have 15. That's that booger whistle, baby. They're energy vampires. That's that booger whistle, baby.
Mormon space wise, let's create lives. Mormon space wise, God the Father has a body. It's a very toned body. He looks good. Mormon space wives. Mormon space wives. Space sex. Space sex. Magic underwear fitting tight. Magic underwear is feeling right. Mormon space wives. Mormon space wives. Lords of Cola. I would like to have intimacies with you on the planet of Naboo. Mormon space wives. Magic underwear. Where? Right there. Mormon space wives. Let's create lives. Mormon space wives. God the Father has a body. It's a very toned body. He looks good. Mormon space wives. Mormon space wives. Space sex. Space sex. Magic underwear fitting tight. Magic underwear is feeling right. Mormon space wives. Mormon space wives. Lords of Cola. I would like to have intimacies with you on the planet of Naboo. Mormon space wives. Magic underwear. Where? Right there. Mormon space wives. Space error.
Basically, right.
Mormon space wives. Our God has a body. It's a very toned body. He looks good. Mormon space wives. Mormon space wives. Book of Basic. Space sex.
Finally, the moment that I'm sure
Mormon space wives, lords of color. Let me have intimacy with you on the planet of Naboo. Magic underwear fits so tight. Magic underwear feels so right. Mormon space wives, creating new lives. Mormon space wives. Mormon space
Oh, it's so powerful towards the end. Woo, dang, dude. Oh man. Oh, golly willies, babe. It's Mormon space wives. One last one. I'm feeling funky
Black
today.
kings, black bishops, black players, people of the chocolate persuasion. Black kings, black bishops, black players, people of the chocolate persuasion. Black
I'm gonna
kings,
turn it into a mumble rap song.
bishops, black players, people of the chocolate persuasion. Black kings, black bishops, black players, people of the chocolate persuasion.
But the Dark Ages was a time when black people ruled Europe. So when you go into the real history, you'll see King James was...
That's King James right there. That's James LeBron. That's King LeBron right there.
black. He was not a white guy. You'll see his whole lineage of kings.
Black kings, black bishops, black players, people of the chocolate persuasion. Black kings, black bishops, black players, people of the chocolate persuasion. Black kings, black bishops, black players, people of the chocolate persuasion. Black kings, black bishops, black players, people of the chocolate persuasion.
Who was a homosexual himself, who was in love with his sister Lucretia, who they made the image of Lucretia to be Mary. And that became the Renaissance era. Lucretia.
So hold on, you telling me Lucretia? That's a black name right there.
French
Are
boy
you
going
gonna
to a new
say
level.
that the people that was framing the black people were also black? That don't make no sense. Lucretia's a black as hell name. Lucretia. The church even allowed it, you know what I'm saying? The church allowed for straight pimping. But that have been suppressed.
What's up, y'all?
That have been suppressed. Listen to my...
Which Mormon space wives y'all like better? There's so many new cringecore hits, I don't even know what to pick. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, the Scam Shamoon song is stuck in my head. I'm trying to get it out of my head because it's stuck in my head. So maybe Pentecost will get it out of my head.
I was born in Romania in a Christian family. Pentecostal. I was born in Romania in a Christian family. Pentecostal.
That's a damn church right there. That's time for the church, son. We about to have an eyes wide shut church party in the basement. Dude, that's what They call it an after.
What y'all think is the best?
Y'all ever heard of the after party?
It's too hard to pick the best Frenchcore song. There's too many hits.
I was born in Romania in a Christian family. Pentecostal.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was born in Romania in a
Can't
Christian
get you out
family.
of my head.
Pentecostal.
Boy, your orbs are all I think about. I just can't get you over my head. Your round dome is all I think about.
Sam Shamoon.
Might as well play it since it's in our head.
This is actually good word though. Will you dance with Sam Shamoon on the dance floor? Sam Shamoon, he's at the dance club. He's single. He's got a little bit of dust on his shoulder.
Funko Pop isn't even
Cause he didn't clean up his nasty ass cat apartment. Sam Shamoon is on the dance floor. Ladies, orbs, all are welcome. Please dance with Shamoon. I've got moves. Sam Shamoon.
Tonight I'm just gonna read Choose Your Own Adventure.
All you pretty orbs on the dance floor. Muta with the Shia tonight. All you pretty orbs on the dance floor. I see a lot of orbs lonely tonight. Big shapely orbs, come and dance with Sam. He's single on town. You
Welcome everybody to the limit. Y'all ready for this?
He's got man boobs. He can relate to you. Sam Shamoon's on the dance floor. All you orbs on the floor tonight. Tonight's night. Every orb on the dance floor. Dance with Sam Shamoon. Muta with the Shia tonight.
All right, that's enough of that. I didn't realize that the young jerks had already covered what I told y'all about. See, a lot of y'all didn't believe me, and I'm not going to them because they're a great source, but it is another person, another source that noticed this. They learned it, 3 years ago. They learned it before I went to Rome. So they were ahead of me. These goobers were ahead of me.
Our audience has been waiting for hot priests. I don't even like this. This isn't even really a story. Let's just keep it real.
No, this is a very important story. This is wait, you know what I'm hearing? Breaking news. It's breaking news.
Dun, 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 dun. All right, so turns out that hot priests exist, and Fleabag might have made hot priests a trendy thing. And if that's the case, I'm here for it. Okay.
It's not for chicks though. Like people, do y'all not understand? It's freaking faking gay. It's for dudes. The hot priest calendar is for all of the Skittles in Rome, bro.
They got to change the whole celibacy thing because hot priests
It ain't have nothing to do with celibacy. It's to do with the Skittles.
were celibate doesn't seem to make much sense to me, but they've been around for a long time. Take it from Piero Pazzi, a Catholic photographer in Italy who's published a
But
best-selling
he's straight as hell.
hot priest calendar for almost 20 years now. And we're just hearing about this now.
All right, well.
Apparently news does not travel fast.
I told y'all. There were people saying that this wasn't true. I made it up. Freaking go to Rome, dude. Just freaking go to Rome. Go to Rome yourself, you Skittles, man.
Good news doesn't travel fast. And the calendar is officially called the
Jamie's over there cracking up.
Calendario Romano.
Jamie, it's real, isn't it? Say something. They can't see you. Say yes. Yes, it's real. See, Jamie saw it.
Okay, and Pazzi has claimed in the past that he sells around 75,000 copies a year.
Wow, people are really into priests.
I mean, here's what people are
All of these, so there's basically, that's all the employees of the Vatican. That's all 75,000 employees of Vatican City.
into. Hot people, hot men in this case. Okay, that
fair.
people like hot people.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm kind of like a hot person.
that's what Trump would say.
Yeah. Okay. So here's why he does the calendar in the first place. Pazzi says the calendar is a clean and honest product that simply advertises Rome and its most eloquent symbol, the Catholic clergy.
In other words, if you as gay as hell, you better convert because we got the goods. That's what that means.
Agree to disagree, but we'll continue. He says he created it to educate the tourists who visit Rome by providing precise information on the Vatican state with facts and tidbits written inside. He describes this as very simple information, which the average tourist fully disregards.
Very simple information, like their phone.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. I mean, this makes perfect logical sense to me. People are trying to figure out, why would they do it? Because they're all freaking Skittles, dude. What do you like? It makes perfect sense. Duh. The keys to the kingdom right there, baby. Anyway, shout out to your boy Ty over here, Ty 2048. If you remember, he made that banger, the Alex Wuhan song, and he made the song I sing when I debate a Calvinist. That's Ty's baby. And he also, I don't know if he actually found this in Epst3in McEffery's Spotify playlist or if he's joking, but here you go. I actually kind of like it. This is Epst3in Core, Epst3in Wave. Bro, like, I used to be into a lot of the early Epst3in Wave artists, but like, they're like totally sold out now. They're like part of the CIA or whatever. Like, early Epst3in Wave was like so edgy. It was like edgecore or whatever almost. And then they totally sold out and went mainstream, dude. Anyway, you get the idea. Shout out to Ty. Again, nobody makes classic cringecore. I mean, Ty had his own vibe, you know what I mean? I mean, Dr. Evo's a master, right? Dr. Evo's legit producer. I'm not dissing anybody. I'm saying everybody's got their own vibe. I mean, this one was a vibe, dude.
You are in a cult. You are not in a church. You invented your own church.
Excuse me, you're just making an assumption.
Now this one's dedicated to Don Wilson.
They do. I can go read them. You have no saints. You're a goblin, a demon, a boomer tard. A demon, a boomer.
You're just making an assumption.
You're a goblin, a demon, a boomer tard.
Excuse me.
Anyway, enough of that. Now, what are we going to be talking about today? I mean, your boy Cleavage to Antiquity. He's been over here hitting it hard on the John Carpenter Goo Christmas. Like, what in the heck is this blasphemy, dude? They made an alien John Carpenter thing Christmas freak show, and it was aired on German state TV. Now, we just saw a couple of weeks ago or last week, they did a Crowleyan crucifixion of a frog presentation in a Roman Catholic church. Even Loft Dog covered it. And now they're doing John Carpenter Goo Creatures. This is just like next level. It's beyond blasphemy. It's like, I don't even know what to call it. Insanity, just madness, just total madness.
Unsere Krippe hier ist das Werk einer jungen Künstlerin, das sie eigens für diesen Gottesdienst geschaffen hat. Die Krippe zeigt einen echten Menschen. Er liegt dort elend, nackt und bloß, wie es schon ein altes Kirchenlied sagt. Der Mensch hier ist eingehüllt, weil er zart und verletzlich ist und wir seine Würde.
I mean, dude, what in the heck this is something out of a freaking Alien, man. This is like they're about to give birth to the Urukai. This is a damn Urukai ceremony. You're gonna be my Urukai, right? Where's Saruman at? Where's Saruman at? That's Urukai, dude. So the reason, by the way, that Germany is so insane, for those that don't actually know. Okay, what is this one? Is this the same? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, we got wine moms in churches doing a strip pole. What? Now, don't forget, we had dudes doing the strip pole a few years ago at that giant mega church that you think it's Randy Balls? No. It ain't Randy Balls, dog. I'm talking about, what was it, River Church? Riverside? No, not Riverside. Something. Male stripper. No, hold on. If I put that, that's gonna pull up a bunch of nasty nonsense. All right, hold on. I gotta find it over here first because we don't want to pull up a bunch of Roman Catholic gay stuff here on Twitter. It was called male stripper at mega church. All you pretty orbs on the dance floor. Do y'all remember what that was? Ugh, never mind. Don't search that. It was that mega church that people thought was a joke, like that was Randy Balls or whatever. We covered it on my live stream. Anyway, it's not even worth finding. It's too gross. But so now they got wine moms in Protestant churches.
50-jährige Anke Kestermann trainiert für ihren nächsten Auftritt. Doch die Bühne ist diesmal kein Club, kein Variet.
To the church walls. Tell all these scripples fall. Tell all these wine moms beep, beep, beep. Shake it like a salt shaker. Shake it like a salt shaker. Shake it like a salt shaker. All these German wine moms on the floor.
Jetzt in die evangelische St. Marienkirche in Lübeck einzuladen.
Anke ist eine sehr, sehr spirituelle Frau.
That's the preacher. From the stained windows to the walls, to all these wine moms fall, to all these wine moms beep, 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 beep.
Die ihren ganz eigenen Weg
What the heck is she
Stange
doing,
frei. Nach dem Auftritt ist die Stimmung in der Gemeinde
It's all women too, like it's all chicks. In there.
vielstimmig.
And there's one dude right here.
Ja.
Here's a boomers over there. Ja, I like this very much. Oh, sehr gut to watch the Weinmum. The Weinmutter. I like to watch the Weinmutter and the scraper pull. All your scrapers need to get out. All y'all scrapers, y'all need to leave church. Remember that? I can't help but do a bunch of Little John references because, dude, we got Little John writing liturgies. That's the Little John liturgy. Shake it like a salt shaker. Shake it like a salt shaker. Shake it like a salt pillar. Shake it like a salt pillar. All y'all scruppers, y'all got to get out the church. All y'all scruppers. No. Which Little John song is that? The windows to the walls. What you gonna do? Is it this one? Which one is it where he says, "Oh, y'all scripples, y'all got to go"? Somebody in the chat knows. Little St. John. Little St. John. Oh, y'all acolytes, y'all got to go. What you gonna do? What is that Little John song where he says that at the beginning? It's one of these stupid ass Little John songs. By the way, my buddy met Little John just sitting alone at a bar in Florida. Just dude was alone too. It's kind of sad. Little sad John. Is it Get Low? Get low, get low. Oh, see, he's talking about repentance. See, Little John was just talking about repentance. Y'all didn't even understand, right? Here we go, right here.
All y'all scripples, y'all got to go. We taking over this club tonight. Little Johnny Shot Boys, hey, yeah.
All y'all white moms, y'all got to go. We taking over the club tonight.
A demon, a boomer tard. You're a goblin, a demon, a boomer.
All right, now I lost my wine mom at. Where'd she go at? Where'd she go at?
Bianca ist eine sehr, sehr spirituelle Frau, die ihren ganz...
All y'all Skittles women bishops, y'all got to go.
Die 50-Jährige bleibt gelassen. Und dann...
So gut, Weinmutter. Die Weinmutter was very shapely.
Das ist verdauen. Ich fand das nur völlig unpassend, das in der Kirche zu machen.
Doch es gibt auch andere Lesarten.
Ich finde es großartig, weil Tanzen...
The German Boomer. Wer ist the German Boomer? Is very liberal. Wer ist liberal ist gut. Liberal ist gut. Liberal. I took 2 years of German. I got good grades. I don't remember half the words, though. What's liberal? Anyway. We're on a roll today now. Already the news is popping off. But that we didn't even come here for that. Cleve has just been all over this craziness. Look at this. Craziness. Let's see what else happened. I thought there was one more crazy church clip. These goobers are back. Return of the goobers, dude. Priest promotes a Skittles nativity scene. Italian Roman Catholic priest. I mean, dude, what is wrong with Roman Catholics, bro? What y'all up to over there? Y'all going crazy, man. Now there's a ABC news anchor with his husband received into the Roman Catholic Church. See, it's a great filtering mechanism because everybody bathed in Chad becomes Orthodox. And everybody into the Skittles goes over in this domain. So, you know what? Go do your thing. Keep it over there. Keep it on the down low. You know what I'm saying? Keep it over there. Anyway, what I wanted to also get to today was a little sweet chocolate candy. A little bit of sweet chocolate candy. It seems like the narrative have done broke, okay? Because your boy right here was on the scene and he was vindicated. I'm talking about me in the third persons, okay? I was vindicated once again. I told you that quite clearly something is up. Probably Candace has been duped by some sort of classic disinformation thing with this absolute goober ball man who's an obvious fraud. Now, more has come out, as we will see in a moment, because some of these other veterans, who, by the way, are also critical of the official story. I don't trust, Kush Patel over there with that dank story that he cooked up. But that doesn't mean that all of these crazy Candace stories, which is a new Candace with a Q, Q-A-N-D-A-C-E. That's what I've been calling her. I'm calling her Candace with a Q, Q-A-N-D-A-C-E. Quandus. Quandus is off the hook. Okay, she's gone off into just stupid shit. And Quartering is correct that this obvious con man dude, who's black ops but was imprisoned by his wife in the garage, who broke his thumbs. Okay, he's married to Tony Soprano apparently, and he was in witness protection. Well, it turns out now allegedly people have dug into his background. He's got 4 different aliases. He's a notorious con man. Okay. And Candace hasn't backed off. She predictably just moved on to the next Quandus drop. What's the next Quandus drop? Oh, there's another airplane that's now the focus of the story. So every time the narrative of this week's conspiracy, tune in next week for Oprah's conspiracy soap opera, right? And this is what, so when I started, this was what an actual Candace defender told me. Yeah, he was a con man in the past, but he's telling the truth now. Now these bros over here these overly tatted military bros, they went and dug into this dude's past, okay?
In my investigation into Mitch Snow, what I have found is maybe one of the most horrific, appalling human beings I've ever come across. The amount of violence against women in his record, kidnapping, abuse, fraud. Oh, I have the proof. I have it all.
People were like, why would he lie? Because he's an evil mofo. What are you talking about? How dumb are y'all? How is there so many dummies? I don't understand. Like a little bit of discernment, just a little bit. But in reality, we over here on my channel, we actually understand this perfectly. Why? Because we know how worldviews work. This is yet another amazing insight into how worldviews work. So all of the people following this crazy soap opera narrative, the new Candace drops every week, they're so locked into the soap opera that they can't conceive of last week's soap opera being completely retarded and the narrative falling apart. So they just double down and focus on the next week's Candace drop, Q drop. Okay. And it was obvious right away, this dude, first thing I said when I saw this was like, why would we believe some random ass military whistleblower? I mean, this is like Disnifo 101, right? So it could be, here's the options. Candace is falling for classic COINTELPRO disinformation campaign. And in order to keep the story going, she just sort of has a new Candace drop each week. Or it's a spook operation. Or she is kind of losing it. She doesn't come off as somebody losing it. But I said the red flags were when she started citing Kanye as a reliable source. Okay, Kanye is obviously crazy. Like and I don't mean it in a mean way. I mean it in like, I hope Kanye really does, become orthodox and find the right way. Same for Candace, same for everybody. But like, it was obvious that this guy was a scammer. But each week there's a new drop, right? But people need to not forget last week's crazy story and that the narrative fell apart. And I noticed too, the same reactions, they're acting like leftists because it's a bunch of like soccer moms and Karens that are now conspiracy experts, right? No. You thought you were a conspiracy expert because you've been analyzing this stuff like me since 1998, over 25 years. No. I am taking the back seat because a BIPOC person is now speaking. And when a BIPOC person speaks, I've learned to be quiet. I've learned to go into hush mode. I've learned to go into sleep mode. Because now every Karen and soccer mom in the country who used to watch Oprah in the 80s, when it was my mama, now every soccer mom in the country is a conspiracy expert and knows everything. AC says for $5, Little John is going to chase all the wine moms out of Germany like St. Patrick did with the snakes. They got to go. All y'all wine moms got to get out hinterland. This here Lebensbraun. Cole Barracuda, $5. Thank you, Jay. You introduced me to orthodoxy. It was through that Sam Shamoon Muslim debates. I'm blessed with a home now. I got to meet Father Moses in real life. Good, dude. I'm going to be a catechumen tomorrow. Glory to God. Christ is born. Good to hear, Cool Barracuda. You on the right path. AC says for $10, yo, wine mom makes muta in a German church. He went full scam shamoon on me. Altar Void, $5. That sounds like it's for an old crowd. I think the Ep K-pop would be more of his speed. You talking about the old dude in Germany? Noah says for $3. After much praying and decision seeking guidance from my priest, I've decided to go to school. I'm going to attend seminary and I will be a priest. Uh-oh. Noah will be entering into the priesthood. Then you should know, Jay, that you will have at least a fan amongst OCA clergy in the future. Thank you. Well, that's great to hear. Everybody pray for Noah as he becomes, and we've had over the last several years, a bunch of people now from our audience move into clerical positions, priesthood, diaconate, etc. So that's wonderful news, and it's awesome, good fruit. Thank God for that. Sarah says for $5, nothing. Josiah Eliron says for $10, Jay, I laughed so hard at Mormon Space Wife, I actually started choking. I was seriously laughing so hard. I'm glad you guys liked it. Nellie H says for $10, this was a super chat I missed last time. The games these days have come a long way since I played Screaming Abdus in the 1980s. Merry Christmas, Jay. I think y'all are liking this, the gaming streams, aren't you? Y'all like that? I'm having a blast, honestly. And I think we're going to do Cyberpunk next. I've got so many requests. Yes, I know I need to have a camera. Don't worry, I'll get one. By the way, I got another camera. Another of the same camera for Christmas. So we are going to be full-fledged podcasters in the professional sense now that we have 2 camera angles. I don't just mean scene selections. This right here is scene selections, right? See that? No, I'm talking, you can't just see me from here. You'll actually be able to see me from here. You'll see me from over there and not just there. That is going to be amazing. Also, though, but for real, when we got Jamie in here, it's going to make more sense. You know what I mean? So we got 2 cameras. We got a Jamie camera, Jamie cam. Oh, we got to get back to this Candace stuff here with Mitch Snow and all this nonsense.
I have all the documents. It's really, really, really bad. And I'll tell you this, regardless of how we feel about Candace, we're fans of Candace. I stand up for women, as does JD. Me and JD both have very staunch anti-abuse against women and children stances. Hardline for both of us. I don't care.
I mean, does anybody have a not strong stance against that, by the way? I mean, if anybody has a pro abuse stance, they're probably not going to be public about it. I just thought that was funny.
Who you are, if you platform and raise $130,000 for someone who has a visceral history of abuse against women, that's going to blow your guys' mind. I'm not going to allow that to happen. It's 1,000 times worse than any of you guys could have ever imagined. The stolen valor, the Fort Huachaca, well, we're going to debunk that. But that is nothing to this story. I'm actually horrified. I've talked to all of the victims. I've talked to his entire family. I've talked to his children. His own son, by the way, who was an Army veteran, will be coming out and speaking publicly with us to explain to you how his father, what a con artist his father is. It is insane who this man really is. That is.
So in other words, Mitch Snow, the key witness to the supposed colonels and generals and all this nonsense planning the assassination at Fort Huachuca, that this rando crazy dude just stumbled into the silent skiff meeting. Give me a break, dude. You're not going to stumble into a meeting on a base that's planning the assassination. It's so stupid. And all of these dummies believe this. I can't believe how many people are so gullible. And when you reply on this, all they say is, how much is Mossad paying you? You get $7,000 for saying that? Oh, good job with Mossad. Yeah, go back to Netanyahu. Like, what? Are you serious? So all of these dummies they're just the new left, basically. They just act like leftists. And this was supposed to be, let's see if they put up their video yet. Let's go to there's YouTube and see. Oh, good grief. 3 hours? Bro. All right, I guess we'll do a little bit of it.
It's hysterical. I was literally only trying to walk away from him and his insanity. I was eventually allowed to go upstairs with my son and sobbed with my baby in my arms. So what he did, and this is going to become a common theme, is he was using his current wife, Lene at the time, to try to help him get custody of his kids of Gretchen, a previous wife, who he had also abused, which he was not able to get custody of. So when the case with, and this is going to be a pattern, he does this over and over and over again with each of the victims moving forward.
That she
Now watch this.
95%. Okay. 95 to 99. I mean,
So he's not even 100% sure, by the way. But here's him on a different podcast with a different accent, with a different story that he's trying to crowdfund money for.
Lures me to the garage that she pre-set up to be like a...
This is important, okay? This is some kind of like podcast that he's doing where he's talking about an incident that supposedly happened with his wife where he was arrested for domestic violence, okay?
Yep.
This guy is a Green Beret, supposedly, right?
Yep, supposedly.
Okay,
Well,
this is a crazy...
We know he was, or we think he was, as far as we could pull, but it also makes the story way less credible. Again, he's getting kidnapped and beat up by all these women when he's 5'10", 250-pound Green Beret, by the way.
I mean, that right there shows you it's all bullshit, dude. Come on.
There is what he is. Okay, ready? Watch this.
Like a little prison, you know. She broke the garage doors. Hoarded stuff was stacked against the windows and the other doors. So
He knows how he has a different accent. He's got a Southern accent in this one, as he's on a different podcast with a different conspiratorial story about a bunch of corrupt judges in Washington that are out to get him. Is it starting to sound familiar? The whole world's that's out to get to Mitch Snow.
This is Candace's star witness proof of the planning at Fort Huachuca. A total obvious retardo con man.
No, just like the cartels and the army. He's got a pattern of this.
And she lured me in there and attacked me. Hit me with a hammer and, you know, break my thumbs, my feet.
Okay, this tiny woman that he's married to, lies.
And they weren't coming over. They were just sitting out there outside of their cars talking and chatting with each other. And
it's been an amazing trip. And most of all, the people that I've gotten to meet and hear their stories, it's absolutely fantastic. This has been a wonderful experience.
I want you to meet a man named Mitch Snow. He's very, very interesting. He is the new Egyptian plains.
So, a few things here I want to talk about, guys. Retired Staff Sergeant Mitch Snow. This is his own profile, his own bio. When we talk about lies are important when we're talking about the credibility of an eyewitness. He's not a retired staff sergeant. You can show that by his records. He was discharged. I know I was medically retired from actual serious injuries that involved having both my shoulders completely reconstructed, bunch of knee surgeries. And you know what my document says against Mitchell Snow from Candace, who we just saw, was the statement we just had.
Jon Snow
from being assaulted.
Yeah, this is
raped,
Jon Snow.
all those different things by Mitchell Snow. So as you can see here, the DVPO, okay, notice and hearing, protected persons, current or former spouse, that night. Video evidence of all the things Mitch has done. And after abusing him or abusing her, Mitch was terrified that Candace was going to come forward with this information because he knew he would lose any chance or visitation of his son, which he did after this. But these are the text messages that went into that. It says, everything is my fault. I'm sorry, but don't kill Nate's only chance that you've worked for so hard. Again, as he uses women to try to attack previous women in his
so
life.
he's trying
at this
to
point,
play games with these
messages to Candace with the son, Without those files in the computer, Nate is dead and you know it. Turn the child.
Who actually has this much freaking drama in their life, dude? This is insane. I mean, these dudes like went hardcore pulling up all of his information. This is like next level, right? I mean, you can go watch this whole 3-hour thing if you still believe this goofball. So you guys don't know what's going on. Okay, so this is Candace's star witness proof guy, Mitch Snow, with 4 different aliases, claiming that he went to get reparations when he went to Fort Huachuca, and he happened to stumble onto the base and accidentally stumble into a skiff, which is a sealed, soundproof room where 12 colonels and generals and CIA and Erica Kirk and Congress people were all planning how to assassinate Charlie Kirk. It's so stupid. And again, as Alex pointed out, you wouldn't plan an assassination that way with all these people. You would have a handful of people, right? It's not going to be done in a giant room with a giant number of people. It'll be done in a small room with a small, sparse number of people. The less number of people needed, the better. And then after a lot of this, she walked a lot of this back. And I want to show you that right here.
Wait.
But she didn't just walk back some of it with the planes. She tried to say, oh, I never said that. I never said that. I never said that. No, she did say that. Listen.
Like, end justifies the means. So here's the clip of him saying that. You have the shooter wearing his trans tie and looking all excited and proud of himself when he's in the hearing. I'm not saying he didn't have help. I'm not saying there can be other shooters. Because Kash Patel's covering up, I don't know what that is. But just because there's a cover-up doesn't mean you can then say, Fort Huachuca, and I saw Candace Owens there. It's the same level of lunacy here. So here she is, saying she just can't see how it is in the U.S. military now because this guy told her so. We're like, watch out, watch out. We were being nice back then.
Alex had a great analogy. He was, it shows how they move the goalposts, right? Alex said, I went to Walmart and I saw Santa was humping reindeers in the parking lot. And then I show Stubbs that I went to Walmart. There you go. I was at Walmart. Okay, that doesn't mean that you saw Santa humping Rudolph just because you were there. No, but I got the stub. And then all of her dumb audience literally said, I kid you not, they said, you can't prove that Santa wasn't there. Are you serious? This is the stupidest, this is why like conspiracy stuff is becoming totally retarded. And basically everyone on X now is following this model of crafting your own brand of conspiracy. That was making it all worthless. Maybe on purpose.
And now everybody in the world's against her. That's right. Her against the world. And then we'll go to...
Why am I covering it? Because she's now the biggest media thing out there. She's beaten Joe Rogan allegedly now. So that's why this is worth covering, because the biggest thing in the world now, media-wise, is pushing utterly stupid conspiracy trash. Candace, QAnon with Candace, Oprah Anon, O-Anon.
Ryan Matta, who does this anti-human trafficking, had him as a guest, been nice to him.
This guy that's been on with Alex too, this Ryan dude, listen to the nonsense and how stupid this guy, like they can't do basic logic. This is where knowing logical fallacies, informal fallacies would help you to not fall for this stupid shit. Remember how many times we say that the fallacies that conspiracy tards fall into is gambler's fallacy and Texas sharpshooter fallacy. And now it's turning into just confirmation bias. It's proving our point about worldviews that people don't want to submit to what's true. They want their fake position to be right no matter what, and they will triple down because it's not about what's true. It's about their own sunken cost investment in the dumb position that they've adopted. and they just simply can't admit that they're wrong. It's the exact same reason that you can show 1,000 dogmatic contradictions to a Roman Catholic, and they just retool the system to make it work, and it doesn't count.
Says all this mean stuff, says things about me that aren't true. I talked about this yesterday because I've seen a bunch of them doing this. They're like, oh, yeah, that's not true. He's like, hey, we don't care if she's wrong. We're sick of TPUSA. This is their standard thing. Like, end justifies the means. So here's the clip of him saying that. And then, again, them running around all trying to deny these alibis. Now the alibi's been proven. Oh, well, we don't care. Oh, you don't. Oh, this guy just said that. She was vetting it. She wasn't sure. No, she said she was sure over and over again. Here's a clip of her.
Well, what I'm about to tell you guys today is going to positively blow your mind. I just cannot see how this would lead to anything other than a full confession from the government about the military's involvement in his assassination, but I'm just going to deliver the facts and see where they land. There are sort of smoking guns in this that are missing, right? It's one thing to point out all the lies, but we need to also have solid, concrete proof of something that took place that was out of the ordinary in the days leading up, maybe, I don't know, a planning session. Well, I got back home after this very intentional prayer, and don't tell me why. I don't know what came over me, but maybe it was this.
Oh, and by the way, another proof for a lot of her stuff is her intentional prayers on Roman Catholic feast days. I kid you not. That's a proof now.
Intentional prayer. The person that I spoke with, his name is, or was, Harry, and he told me a story which I have since fact-checked various elements, the elements that I could fact-check, and it's legit. This is a legit story that I'm about to share with you, and I want to say before I relay it that the descriptions of the people are based off of his own memory, but the facts pertaining to where he was, whether he was where he says he was, for the reasons that he says that he was there, he is being honest, okay? I can tell you that he's being 100% honest with what he says to me, communicated this to me very clearly, because I know how these meetings work. These are the meetings that are had ahead of an operation. Like when an operation is being confirmed, you have these final...
How does she know how assassination meetings are planned? She doesn't work in Black Ops. She's never been in some skiff planning the assassination of some Taliban head. Or like, what is she talking about? She doesn't know about this.
Meetings, and they involve all the higher up.
She just for the first time read Tom O'Neill's Chaos book a year ago or 2 years ago. So she's brand new to shit that we've been studying for 25 freaking years. But of course, she's an expert now because she's been interviewed. She's interviewed one CIA dude, Kevin Shipp. Are you an expert in Black Ops and assassinations now?
And you are trying to do this in a very isolated location where, people are not going to accidentally happen upon you because they've got something to say about what happened 35 years ago. And he happens to walk in at the exact time that they are concluding a meeting. And he is kind of even more impressed because
he happens to walk into the secret assassination planning meeting. And remember, the actual report that she posted from Fort Huachuca, allegedly, when Mitch showed up on the base to get his reparations. The report says he's a lunatic. He's a psycho crazy person. But she doesn't see that as a problem for her story. She sees that as confirming her story. Because he was there at the base. Oh, well, I was at Walmart and Santa Claus was humping Rudolph. Prove it. Here's my Walmart receipt. I was at Walmart. Prove it. Oh, there's a police report when I was at Walmart. Well, the police report said that you're a lunatic in the parking lot, Jay. Yeah, exactly. Proving that I was at Walmart. Why do you work for Netanyahu?
because he sees about 12 lieutenant colonels. And then he sees 3 men walk out, and
he sees 12 lieutenant colonels in a skiff. Now, a skiff is like a soundproof thing. Did they invite this lunatic into the soundproof room so that he could hear the assassination plots? Did they step out of the skiff to talk about the assassination plot and he overheard it? This is so dumb. Like, this should be a credibility killer. That's why this matters. This is a credibility killer right here. And Alex is correct on this. And I saw in the comments when Alex started questioning this, all of these bots calling out Alex, none of the bots dealing with the information. It's crazy.
he said certain that the person that is with him is Brian Harple. Yeah. Okay. Oh, it's about to get even more interesting. So,
by the way, I've been critiquing Calvary Chapel, megachurch, TPUSA style stuff before Candace was even in this sphere, before she was even doing media. I was calling out and critiquing evangelical nonsense. And particularly the New Apostolic Reformation type stuff, evangelical black ops churches. I've been doing podcasts on that going back 10 years to the afternoon commute with John Adams, Hoaxbusters.
And again, I'm going to say allegedly because I wasn't there, but I have spoken to this guy and I very much trust what he is saying. I think he is very credible. Okay.
She thinks this guy is credible. Well, I'm sorry, but that means that Candace doesn't have discernment at the least. So she either bought into a obvious disinformation operation, counterintelligence disinfo operation to discredit her and everything else in this truther sphere, or she was part of some operation. Who knows?
Well, 3 names on her show? Oh, we know we know his real name is coming out today. None of those. We have the records, all of it. We're going to let other folks that broke that break it. But again, you heard her. Oh, I don't see any way the U.S. military isn't now complicitly involved. Oh, we didn't say that. We never said that. Just asking questions. Why would you do something like this? No.
Now, I've been watching and paying attention for the last 3 weeks to this story. So that's why I'm so involved in it now, because I actually, like Alex, I took the time to like dig into it. Nice try, Mossad. Yeah, exactly. Where is the evidence that, so that's all you guys have when I call out this obvious con man, and all you have is to say that I'm Netanyahu and all this nonsense. Dude, I was talking about Zionism before Candace was even in media. What are you even talking about? I'm not going to have some fucking wine mom who just learned about conspiracies from Oprah 2 months ago tell me about freaking conspiracies, dude. I was talking about this shit that she's talking about 10 years ago on John Adams' podcast. We talked about Calvary Chapel, mega churches, money laundering, black ops. Oh, but I just now learned all this stuff, and I'm jealous of I'm jealous of Candace. You jealous? You jealous of a BIPOC queen? Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure. Yeah, she read the most mainstream CIA conspiracy book, Chaos, by Tom O'Neill, and now she's an expert on Laurel Canyon. She's an expert on CIA and all that. Yeah, right, dude. We've been talking about this stuff when y'all was still pooping, dude, in your diapers. And a lot of y'all are still pooping in diapers just because you're into it. Because you're a bunch of freaks. I'm just joking. So this guy got $150,000 out of all this nonsense. Because of all these dumb wine moms that believe everything Candace says. And now there's a new one. Now it's a new airplane that is the this week's Quandace Q. It's Candace with a Q. Quandace. This week's new Quandace drop is a new airplane. Don't forget the Egyptian airplanes. Forget the fact that if you were going to be tracked and traced, they would track your freaking phone. Forget all that. Right? Because you know they have Pegasus software, right? But no, Mossad has to use Egyptian airplanes to fly behind people for years to figure out how to assassinate them. But they also assassinate people through tunnels like Charlie Kirk, but they got to fly around in airplanes because they can't just track people from a cell phone. Yeah. So if you don't have a worldview that you're grounded in, if you don't have any basis to look into the history, it's not the quartering raising $250,000, you idiot. He's showing what Candace raised for the dude. Good God, man. You guys are so fucking dumb, dude. What is wrong with you guys? What is wrong with you guys? I'm talking about you Candace defenders. You're so stupid. And no, I don't hate Candace. I gave this a fair shot and I spent 3 weeks on it now. And everybody's just so stupid, dude. No one has discernment. No one has discernment. That's what it is. No discernment.
quick report. I'm going to go back in the office in the morning with the crew and shoot a report with all the documents and things that Candace Owens is now saying. And obviously display it, but you can go to her X account and read it. So I said 2 weeks ago, I don't know if she's being misled or if she's got some type of, psychosis or whether she's just an evil person. But I've said on air in the last week or so, and I said on my show today, I said if she comes out with a news story to cover the last Huachuca story that fell apart, we know she's bad news. Just notice she said with the Egyptian planes when that fell apart that, she's going to publish all the details soon on the website. Yeah, I'm going to hold my breath. But with Fort Huachuca, she, with this source, famous con man who's been totally exposed, a fake name, Mitch Snow, that it was the head of TP USA Security, Congressman Ahmadai, and then once he came on her show, and Erica Kirk was there too, 99% sure. And then she said on the air, this is no doubt the U.S. military, was involved in this killing. And she says, I never said that. Played the video today of her saying it.
Yeah, she did say it. I've been watching the last 3 weeks of her show. So, anyway, this is just silly, dude. It's so dumb. And it's sad that people fall for this. And it's the exact same thing as I said day one, you understand too, disinformation isn't all fake, right? You got to mix in crap. Right? It's not like the Q crap was obviously fake within a couple weeks because it wasn't just talking about real stuff. They then started throwing in obviously nonsensical stuff. And then it got more and more absurd and it turned into like a cult with literal cult leaders like the Q shaman. And it turned into this like mystical quest, right? Like you're in it's a role-playing game for boomers. And they've got their decoder ring and they're riding around looking at billboards that had like secret Q codes. I'm not joking. There were billboards in Tennessee with Q crap and codes to decode and ciphers. So all the boomers can play freaking James Bond in their head. The white hats and the NSA are sending us a code. They're gonna arrest Hillary at Guantanamo Bay. Now, an easy identifier of disinfo or COINTELPRO crap or whatever, disinformation, is number one, when it's really outlandish. It's not that something outlandish can't be true. It's rather that usually it's not. And when it leads off with the absolutely outlandish stuff, like I stumbled into the skiff and there was 12 colonels and congressmen and Erica Kirk planning the assassination. Like that right away, that's like, okay, that's not very likely. Is it possible? It's possible, but it's not likely. And if you've watched this space of alternative media, then you know that it's a space rife with disinformation, spooks, kooks, and crooks. I've watched for 20 plus years, patriotards, scammer militia people, quacks and kooks, cult leaders, channelers, Planet X goobers, Q-tards. They come and go. And they all have the same characteristics, just like this. And they never back off of or retract things. And Candace will retract minor points. But this guy is obviously full of it. And that's a deal killer right there. The chat is Normie? No, my chat is not Normie. Unless you're referring to it's Star Seeds. That's a bunch of other nonsense. Yeah, just delete these retards in here. Miss Cleo. Miss Cleo got more credibility than Candace at this point. Oh, then we got an actual profile called Qtard. AC says for $5, we got to stop TPUSA. Also, I will stop TPUSA by discrediting myself. Then TPUSA script was already falling apart. Yeah, TPUSA was already in a decline. And as we pointed out a long time ago, that's because there's not, I mean, if you have New Apostolic Reformation, TPUSA Faith, Calvary Chapel, Conmen as your, like, the face of your movement, like, that's destined to collapse on its own, right? There's a bunch of conmen right there. But that doesn't mean that, oh, well then Candace is right. And it doesn't matter if she's getting all of her information wrong, because ultimately it's still justified in the long run. No, it doesn't work like that. And Alex plays this goober dude that he used to have on. I forget his name, Ryan Matta or something.
I just
listen to this guy. This guy actually says, yeah, it doesn't matter if Candace is full of shit. Like, it's more important in the end to win. Like, what?
cannot see how this would lead to anything other than a full confession from the government about the military's involvement in his assassination, but I'm just going to deliver the facts and see where they land. There are sort of smoking guns in this that are missing, right?
Again, you heard her. Oh, I don't see any way the U.S. military is
assassinate.
That's
furious. Everything we learned about Obama.
Person was he there? Oh, he was there too. Well, I guess. I mean, and I'm supposed to sit here and take this and like sign on to say, well, whatever she says, you know, A-OK.
After everything that we've learned about MK Ultra, everything we learned about Operation Fast and the Furious, everything we learned about Obama drone striking American citizens on foreign soil without a warrant. I mean, the list goes on and on. The JFK, the MLK, the RFK assassination. You attacking Candace Owens, the only person asking questions, even if they're wrong.
She's not the only person asking questions. Alex, day one, said, I don't trust Kash Patel, and consistently said Kash Patel is involved in some sort of cover-up of this. And countless other people are questioning this event. So the idea that Candace is the only person asking questions, that's not true.
Even if she has a bad theory, what the fuck does it matter, Alex?
What does it matter? If the theory is retarded, it matters. Like, if it's false, it matters. Like, and by the way, did you catch the fallacy there, guys? In the past, the government lied about Fast and Furious. They lied about Obama drone strikes. And by the way, what decade is this dude in? Like, he's way behind on his lies. There's a lot more up-to-date lies than that, but whatever. So therefore, Candace is right. That is a version of the gambler's fallacy. Okay, I roll the dice. The dice comes up with a 6. I roll it again. It comes up with a 6. I feel sure my third roll, it's got to be a 6. Why? Because the previous 2 were a 6. That's a fallacy. It's a non sequitur. The fact that you rolled 2 6s has nothing to do with the third roll being a 6. Likewise, yes, the government lies. There have been countless conspiracies that are real, but it doesn't follow from that this makes your narrative or your explanation true. And also the Texas sharpshooter fallacy is where you shoot the wall and then you draw the target where you shot. So maybe you shoot and there's buckeye or whatever, the pellets go everywhere, and then you draw around the central pellet. You see, look, I got hit it right on the nose. Well, you can throw out 1,000 different conspiracy theories, and then if one of them happens to be right, you say, aha, look, I was spot on. It's exactly what happens in the conspiracy world.
You don't have better shit to cover. You don't have anything else to talk about. Like, you're the one who's...
First of all, this goofball is way off base because Alex literally covers for the first hour every day all the news. And he didn't get into the Candace thing, and he got into it after I did. And I'm not saying I had any influence on Alex. I haven't talked to him about this. But he covered it the week after I'd covered it for a week. And he covered it, he said, because everybody's talking about it. And I was being fair. If you go back and watch when I did the analysis of Candace versus Piers Morgan, I said I thought Candace won that debate. That doesn't mean I'm saying all of Candace's theories are true. So I don't have some vendetta. I'm not picking, you're just jealous of the BIPOC queens. No, that's not true. We all know I'm the real BIPOC queen.
Started this war. You're the one who started all of this nonsense.
No, Alex didn't start this war and start this nonsense. All of the Candace cronies and bots come into the comments and flood you like they did on my wall for merely questioning the authenticity of this retard Mitch dude. That's what prompts everybody then to reply, is to say, hey, wait a minute. Me questioning this dude does not make me a beneficiary of BB bucks. No, you're sold out. You work for Mossad now. That's obvious because you dared to question Schizo Kanye and Candace's Q drop.
And like nobody cares about whatever the fuck you're presenting, right? We don't.
Nobody cares about. I mean, Alex literally covers all the news. So no one cares about all the other news. The only thing that matters is that the world is against Candace. Like what?
See, I don't. Anyways, I want questions answered.
All right, that's good.
I
Let's
want
stop
to
there.
see the evidence.
Now, I also shared Quartering's. Where's that one at? What did Candace say the other day? Anyone, if you're though, it's the world against me. Like what? This is a delusion. That's why this matters. So when it gets to the point of delusion. In her mind, France, Israel, Australia, Daily Wire, PragerU, Turning Point, Alex Jones, Christian media influencers, maybe me or other people, Nick, all the mainstream media, APAC, Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, Big Pharma, Hollywood, the whole world against Candace. She's the new Athanasius, right? Athanasius against the world. No, now it's Candace against the world. Right? What? Now, if she had made the choice to become Orthodox and was bathed and trad and was making good arguments, I might believe that. But to question Alex's pedigree, when Alex never worked for Daily Wire, Alex was never part of any. It wasn't Candace. Was she a part of Turning Point at some point? Well, so if backgrounds matter, then there's a lot more sus activities in her background than Alex's background. Robert says for $20, Candace has lost it. Again, it could be different things. It could be too many red pills. We've seen people lose their mind, taking too many red pills, and they go off into just crazy shit. It could be she's getting duped by handlers or disinfo. She's being used as a COINTEL disinformation operation, or she could be malicious. It could be all these things. She could just be bad-willed. Who knows? Trey, $5. They seem to be a growing trend where people who think that Kanye is some polymath genius, that he's an incredible but he's not, but not crazy and neurotic. Well, again, I mean, you could say that a crazy person gets a couple things right, but he's not. That doesn't make him a credible source, right? AC, no, excuse me, Viva, $2. Jay, thank you. You played a large part of my conversion. It's good to hear. AC says for $10, it seems like unlimited access to information and the con men that are out here seeking attention. Thus, there's always in conspiracies that can be boosted by an algorithm without risk of hands-on assets. How does she not vet this Mitch guy? Exactly. I mean, you would think in media, you would be better at vetting stuff. But, I mean, also I will say, and this is not to blanket defend Candace's position, but a lot of people that work in media, especially if they're like bigger audiences with millions of people or bigger names, they have entire teams of people that do all this shit. And a lot of those people farm out to retards, literally. So they've got people in their team who are idiots vetting people who don't know anything. And that's a huge part of it. And also that's partly why a lot of these people have retard guests on that you would like, why are they having that person on? Because they let some goofus schedule everything. That's another part of this. ZZZ, here's $5 for that Pentecostal song. Damn, that song had me cracking up for days. This laborer has earned his wages. Thank you, dude. Crypto Crusader, $2. This could also be a giant CIA operation to discredit conspiracies. Yeah, that's also, I mean, that's kind of what disinformation, counterintelligence is intended to do. So absolutely could be that. I mean, QAnon was really just to steer everybody into stupid stuff and dispel real analysis and investigation. Jewish Skeptic, $2. When are we getting that espresso machine cam? This is the espresso machine cam because I'm the machine that ingests all the espresso. Brian, $10. How would I respond to the claim that Orthodox sacraments are invalid because they're illegal? This is what suggests about Voice of Reason. Number one, why are you spending any time listening to Voice of Reason? Well, the sacraments of the Orthodox are illegal. They are illicit, but they're valid. So he doesn't even know the right terminology. He said this on his Patreon that a Roman Catholic sent me. Okay, well, yeah. So illicit has nothing to do with the validity. So Roman Catholic stuff is so obsessed with these technical legalities that you can have valid sacraments that are illicit. So you're potentially participating in a sin if you were to go to their sacraments, similar to the SSPX, right? Although there are canonical exceptions when you can attend an SSPX mass, supposedly, right? So if you're a Roman Catholic and you go to the Novus Ordo and you travel somewhere, it's a holy day of obligation, and you only have an SSPX mass, you could go to the SSPX mass even though it's illicit. So AC, $50. Did you notice that in Tucker's speech, he invited the ADL to come back to the conversation as long as they would say that racism against whites is bad? That seems to be framing a Nick versus Ted Cruz for Vance to be the new middle ground, backing Palantir. I don't know what the motivation. I mean, I thought it was just optics and tactics for Tucker to say that. Like, okay, why don't you just stop saying, if you want to be consistent, why don't you do this, right? There could be some deeper motivations. What do you mean framing Nick versus Ted Cruz? Oh, you mean because then JD Vance is the safe middle ground between those two? I see what you're saying. Could be. Jewish Skeptic, $5. You have no saints in the Boomer Calvinist song is a mic drop moment. They actually don't, so it's kind of funny. John Isaac, what's up? Christopher Scott, $10. What's up? AC. AC has winning the super chat battle today, and I really like the one that Little John is going to chase all the wine moms out of Germany, like St. Patrick did the snakes. Oh, I meant to tell you guys what the problem with the real story with Germany is. I think a lot of this audience knows that, but there, by the way, is the vets, the vet bros over here, Valhalla. These two veteran dudes that do a podcast. I've only watched some of their stuff. This one's like 3 hours long. I didn't know it was that long, so I'm not going to watch all that. Let's see if we can still find Udo's video. Udo Ulfkotta. Now, this unfortunate man died a couple years after saying this in this interview.
I've been a journalist for about 25 years. And I was educated to lie, to betray, and not to tell the truth to the public. But seeing right now, within the last months, how far, how the German and American media tries to bring war to the people in Europe, to bring war to Russia. This is a point of...
This, by the way, was before the Ukraine war.
No return. And I'm going to stand up and say it is not right what I have done in the past, to manipulate people, to make propaganda against Russia, and it is not right what my colleagues do and have done in the past, because they are bribed to betray the people, not only in Germany, all over Europe. The reason writing this book was that I am very fearful of a new war in Europe, and I don't like to have this situation again, because war is never coming from itself. There is always people behind it to push for war. And this is not only politicians, this is journalists too. And
No, I mean, you're right. What you guys are saying in the chat with Candace, she's doubling and tripling her audiences every time the conspiracies get crazier. And I was telling you guys 3 weeks ago, like, she cracked the code for getting an audience, right? No, I know that. I'm not saying he's the only person. I'm just saying he was a notable German journalist who finally came out and said, Germany's press is run by the CIA. We've been run since World War II by the CIA. And that's why everything in Germany is so crazy, including experimental PDF families, as was covered in DW, right? As Alex has talked about for years.
Just have written in the book how we have betrayed in the past our readers just to push for war, and because I don't want this anymore. I'm fed up with this propaganda. We live in a banana republic and not in a democratic country where we have press freedom, where we have human rights. If you see the German media, especially my colleagues who day by day write against the Russians, who are in transatlantic organizations and who are supported by the United States to do so, well, people like me, I became an honorary citizen of the state of Oklahoma in the United States. Just why? Just because I write pro-American. I wrote pro-American.
Yeah, Marshall Plan, right? The restructuring of Germany after the war, they literally set up internment camps and brainwashing operations for the Germans. We've covered that. It's in the Johann Ratiu book. I've talked about it probably 15 times.
I was supported by the Central Intelligence Agency, by the CIA. Why? Because I should be pro-American. I'm fed up with it. I don't want to do it anymore. And so I've just written a book not to earn money. No, it will cause a lot of trouble.
So he talks about CIA controlling the media in Germany. And then a couple of years later, oh, what happened to him?
Right now, this memorial for 2 journalists killed in Virginia continues to grow. It's outside the station where the reporter and photographer worked. This is a story you've been following.
Allison Parker and cameraman.
No, that's not it. Here we go.
Frankfurt. The East-West Writer. If you detest the German lying press, corrupt journalists and regime TV, ARD, ZDF, Zeit, Spiegel, FAZ, Süddeutsche, then you want a Dr. Udo Wolfcott to live forever. If you believe in truth, freedom of speech, and democracy, then you want.
So he died in 2017, a couple years after that, from a heart attack. Wonder if he was hit with the heart attack gun. Onyx, $10. I feel bad for Germans. They've been handed a horrific hand for 75 years. Jibble Kane, if God is one and shares his glory with no one, then how is the Trinity true? Well, even in the Old Testament, he says that he does share that glory with his angel and with his spirit. So you can watch my video here, the Trinity in the Old Testament. So you have to understand in context and interpret that with all of the other texts. So something can be one and many in different ways. And even the rabbis admitted that there was multiplicity in God. So does that mean that he shares his glory with his multiple attributes, his multiple emanations or manifestations? So you understand the same question can be asked of a Unitarian, whether they're Muslim or whether they're Jewish. But I have multiple videos covering this, the Jewish Trinity right here. My main Trinity video is not coming up though. We're going to open it up, by the way, to questions in a second. Where is that up?
Whether Islam or Christianity actually has continuity with the religion that's laid down in the law and the prophets. And that image there, we're not going to go too deep into it right now, but we'll get into it.
That's the opening statement for the Daniel Hakikichu debate. Oh, I know what it's. I need to just retitle this one too. It just needs to all be Trinity in the Old Testament. Here it is. This one here. Isaiah says, this one will go into the other passages that say that when it says that he doesn't share his glory with another, he doesn't share his glory with a creature. It doesn't mean that he doesn't share his glory with his spirit or with his son or the angel of the Lord, the angel of Yahweh. So the Old Testament says both, and you can't pick one passage and say, aha, this passage and not the other passages. It's all of them read in concert. That's the only way to interpret the scriptures. Andrew, how does theosis avoid the super legalism that you find in Islam, Judaism, and Papism? I mean, it's just everybody believes and knows that the Orthodox phronema is not Talmudic and not legalistic. It's our mindset. And only Orthodoxy, in my view, has really maintained that phronema or that mindset. In the Roman Catholic world, they got so legalistic and into casuistry with canon law that they basically became Talmudic. And then you have a reaction against that at Vatican II. So now they're sort of basically just watered down Protestants post-Vatican II. Benantium Emperor, $3. People say Jay doesn't lead people to Orthodoxy because he's mean in debates. They don't know about your work on geopolitics, which brings a whole group of people to become aware of Orthodoxy because they started being interested in that first. Oh, thank you. I'm speaking from my own recent experience. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to our great Lord Emperor of the Benantium, Orangutangus the First. He's the Emperor of Benantium. None of your business, $10. The gambler's fallacy that you're talking about is very important to address because typically the human mind will address other lies and then use it to not believe a claim, even if the claim is true. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You understand too, a lot of these fallacies, like, they're not just in the domain of logic and nerd shit. Like it comes home to roost with propaganda and advertising. And, when you're at the Christmas dinner, Thanksgiving dinner, family dinner, and everybody's arguing about politics or whatever, you got to deal with, Uncle Shitlib's fallacies, right? So it really just depends on, in other words, fallacies are present everywhere, even if we don't notice it. AC says for another $5, sweet candy is flooding the zone with conspiracy candy. Exactly. That's exactly what's going on. Andrew, $2. Is debating Catholics or Protestants easier? They're about nobody's. I don't mean this in a douchey way, but like they're not really any different at this point. Because look, modern Protestantism is really not a whole lot different from modern Novus Ordo Catholicism. I mean, they're all pretty much the same Protestant position. You know what I mean? Like they're not that different. They're all pretty much picking and choosing out of these vast troves of documents what they want to work. The only difference is that the Protestants are picking and choosing from the Bible as their trove of documents, and the Roman Catholics have tens of thousands of pages of more documents. So for me, because I used to be a trad cat and a Protestant, it's not hard. But I think if you were coming to the table, you would probably find it easier to debate Protestants because there's less documents to read. If you want to get into, Roman Catholic apologetics, you got to be familiar with all these papal encyclicals and blah, 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 on and on. Robert says Candace has lost it. I might have read that one, I don't remember. But yeah, it looks like she's definitely going in the wrong direction. Sincere hypocrite. The schizos are engaged in false dialectics. Exactly. Every time I point out a significant problem, as Alex was doing in her claims, you work for BB. You're getting BB bucks. No, I ain't getting BB bucks. I get Dugan bucks, Dugan coin. MK says for $5, did you read Udo Ulfkudda's book, Prostitutes? No, I didn't even know that he had a book, although now I'm interested in it because he apparently was gotten rid of. Mike Benz did a great deep dive on USAID. I'm familiar with that. And how they fund the journalists globally, even today. Now, I was aware of Mike Benz's USAID deep dives, and we have also shared and covered some of that same material. But yeah, that would perfectly vibe with Udo's book, which I didn't even know existed. I'm gonna have to get that. Octavian, our favorite fellow BIPOC, says, Jay, since you're black, you have an Afronema instead of a Fronema. Exactly. Y'all know what's up. Listen, Candace is not the real queen. This is the real queen. And it's time for all of y'all legitimists to come to my defense and dethrone the queen and put the real queen back on the throne. Banana up the butt, $50. Now we got, what's his name? TJ Kirk. We got TJ Kirk in the audience going under the code name Banana Up the Butt, $50. People still think everything's monolithic. They think the CIA is pro-Western. So there's no way it would fund the Frankfurt School. Exactly. They wouldn't understand that it would attack Sovietism and create a co-opted Western left with critical theory. Absolutely. Yeah, I put that in my second book almost 10 years ago. This is then by their own means to create a pseudo-societal division. Exactly. Banana Up the Butt got a funky, stanky name, but he knows what he's talking about. He knows what he's talking about. Now, that's real conspiracies. OSS and CIA funding and working with the Frankfurt School against Soviets. That's a real conspiracy. And that's documented, dude. They brag about it. Everybody's going all in on Dugan coin. Listen, Putin's going to rug pull the market. And then Dugan coin, when it goes down to 0.0002 cents per coin, I'm going to buy it up. I'm going to dump all my Bitcoin, put it all in Dugan coin, and then Dugan coin goes to the moon and replaces Bitcoin. Then I will buy out Michael Saylor, take over all of his Bitcoin, and then dump all of his Bitcoin and put it into Dugan coin. Then Putin takes over the world, and Dan Pena ends up vindicated because Dan Pena said, the worst boomer on the face of the planet, said that Putin created Bitcoin. Brian says for $5, why doesn't maybe Candace, the new Oprah queen, she could just have Dan Pena on and they could expose Putin for creating Bitcoin. That's the level of this stupid shit now. Brian says, can I, as Orthodox, view Moses allowing divorce as economia? I would actually say that it's a pretty good example of economia. And then Jesus clarified that this wasn't the original intention in Genesis, but was due to hard-heartedness. Yeah, I actually think that's I haven't thought about it, but off the top of my head, it's a pretty good example. Lean, good at lean. Lean says for $5. Jay, what do you think about the absurd way that Erica Kirk was grieving? I do think there's legitimate questions there. Again, I am not see, everybody falls in these dialectics. Oh, so you think TPUSA is like this great, awesome Protestant organization? No, I never said that. Again, guys, I did podcasts calling out megachurches as money laundering scam things with John Adams 10 years ago. Afternoon Commute, Hoaxbusters Call. You can find those still. Candace as Oprah is a stretch, bro. It's an analogy, you dummy. Good God, man. You guys in the audience are y'all need some help today. Y'all don't understand jokes and analogies. But they don't. The answer is no, Jay, they do not. The audience and the people now are hit with the tard gun. Everybody's tard maxing. I'm sorry y'all are tard maxing. It's not my fault. I've been here trying to save y'all from tard maxing, and you just want to rush headlong into being tard maxers. Go for it. Have fun. It's the same as all y'all dummies shit talking Bitcoin for the last 10 years to me. And then Bitcoin goes up and y'all dummies stay broke and you still shit talk me that Bitcoin's going to zero. Okay. HFSP. Have fun. Go for it. And you want to follow tard conspiracies into oblivion? Go for it. Have fun. I don't care. Like you're not, it doesn't hurt me, dude. You want to tard max? Go for it. I gave Sweet Candy the benefit of the doubt. I listened to 3 weeks of her shows, and the whole narrative with this tard fell apart, and all of y'all want to double down. Good. Be dumb. Like, go be dumb. Nobody is stopping you from tard maxing. And you're all getting really good at it too. You're like expert tard maxers now. We're gonna open it up. You can call in on any topic. I don't care. You want to? I know all the atheists want to call. How does tag work? If da, 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 da. You want to do the tag argument for the 1,000th time? Call in. Go for it. Let's do it. You want to call in and explain that sweet chocolate candy, see, sweet chocolate candy, sweet, dropping them Q drops, yeah. You want to show that I'm getting BB bucks? Go for it, dude. Bring it out. Bring out that information to expose. I'm going to expose J. Dyer. I'm going to expose him because he dared to go against the real queen of the internet. By the way, Nicolas Cage made it onto my Christmas tree right there. Look at that. Oh, here we go. Jay, is Putin part of the CIA? Well, Jay, what do you think of Putin? He seems more moral than the CIA. My Go Archdeacon dislikes him and says that he's not Orthodox. Well, I mean, Go Arch just does whatever the EP and the State Department tell him to do. So I don't put my hope in trust not in princes and sons of men, as the liturgy says. I don't put my hope in Putin. If Putin does something good, good. If Trump does something good, good. If they do something bad, well, it sucks. So at least I'm not getting asked on a daily basis, what do you think of Elon? Good God, dude. For like 3 years straight, I was asked, what do you think about Elon? And then for like 5 years, what do you think of Putin? What do you think of Trump? All right, if you want to call in, call in. Let's do it. What's up, dude? I need some water. What's up?
Hello? Jay, can you hear me?
Yep.
Let me get to somewhere quiet real fast because I'm at work. I'm heading out the door now.
Damn, dog. Why'd you do that first, man? You tar maxing, man. I'm just joking. What do you think of Biden? Biden is a hero. That's what I think. That's my boy right there. Me and Biden go sniffing together. I call Biden my pooch because I like the way he sniffs. Are you ready? Did you get outside the welding factory? At the welding company? The welding corporation? I'm just joking. Look at Dyer, he's making fun of the middle class. Look at Dyer, he's making fun of the middle class. Expose him. It's just a joke, dude. The other thing too is like, I just cannot stomach the people that can't joke around and laugh. Because there's like 10 comments on the Sam Shamoon video. This is not Christian. This is not Christian. This is not moral. Okay, what's up, man? Did you get out of the welding factory? What's up? I'm mute. Where's all the haters at? All the debaters at?
I'm right here.
What's on your mind, man?
I'm going to expose you, Jay, okay?
Go for it. Please do. I've been waiting.
I'm sorry. No, I'm just joking.
Oh, dude, I thought you was actually going to do something.
No, I actually got a serious question for you. I'm a fan. I just
hold on. Is it a question or is it a question?
Man, it's a question.
Okay, good. That's all. I'm only taking questions today. I ain't taking no questions. I'm only taking questions.
Okay. So no, I just wanted to know your thoughts on John MacArthur because I recently came across him in the last few years.
Are you joking? You joking now?
No, I'm not. I just wanted to know your thought. I'm not saying that I'm a huge fan or believer in the things that he says. I just came across him in a few years, and I find him to be like less outwardly charismatic. I'm not sure if his beliefs are just as charismatic, but I'm sorry. I just wanted to know.
It's okay. I still love you. Go back to the welding, though. Go back to the welding corporation, dude, because you get back on that welder. and put them headphones in, and we gotta educate you because you are misinformed, my friend. You, sir, are misinformed. Okay, we are gonna have to educate you. You're gonna be in the Dyer re-education camp right now, my son, because John MacArthur is a goblin, a demon, a boomer tord. Okay, the song that I played today, that's the only fitting song for that goblin. Calvinism, Dyer. That's your prompt. Okay. And I'm going to say that the first two that come up here are both good places to start in terms of debunking John MacArthur. Okay. There's this one right here, hour and 8 minutes. This one right here, Calvinism Refuted Part 1. And I don't even remember. I know John MacArthur is some kind of Calvinist. Is he also a believer in charismatic gibberish? Is he one of those? I can't remember. I haven't even thought about John MacArthur in so many years. Last time I saw a clip of John MacArthur, he was complaining that Trump said a cuss word. And I'm like, dude, of all the things to complain about, that's your complaint. That's why people are just so sick of evangelical hypocrites, dude. Like, okay, yeah, so Epst3in and compromising and graping youths. No, that's not the thing to criticize. It's cuss words. This is the stupid hypocrisy of evangelicals that's just absolutely infuriating. They will focus on Trump one time said grab a vagina. Oh my goodness. I can't believe that the president would speak in such an improper way. And why don't we bomb all the Gaza people for Israel? Go, it's apple goes out, it's apple goes out. Who's next? Elijah, what's up? What's up, dog?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hey, how you doing, man?
I'm good and bad at the same time.
Oh, sorry, my mic's really slow right now. So I have some questions about Orthodoxy. I'm learning a lot about it, and I come from a hyper Calvinistic Baptist church, very similar to like the particular Baptist from England, like the 1800s and stuff like that. And so the gist of my question and what I'm really trying to get down to is, I know Orthodoxy teach succession through the apostles and apostolic authority. The church I come from teaches that it's purely doctrinal succession. And I know it'd be hard to define that in the first few centuries since you don't really have a scripture to lay down doctrine because you don't have an organized
Well, I
canon.
mean, we have church fathers who teach doctrines in the first few centuries, and they don't teach anything close to what Baptists teach.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I get. But I mean, at the same time, the church I come from, they claim the Baptist succession
and what,
through all those alternate groups.
Okay.
Which is I know pseudo history bullshit.
Okay, good.
But now that we do have a confirmed canon of scripture that even non-Orthodox have access to, what do we do with arguments that seemingly do contradict Orthodoxy? And would there be any excuse or any way to establish an alternate church there?
Wait, hold on. An alternate church? What do you mean?
Well, I mean, just establish a denomination outside of Orthodoxy that could be considered basically a scriptural church.
No, look, let's look at, again, you need to read 1st and 2nd Timothy, because if you read it and pay attention, you'll notice that Paul's very clear that Timothy is who Paul gave authority to teach in Ephesus, okay?
Yeah.
I charged you to teach in Ephesus, okay? And then he says later on that he laid hands on Timothy. And he tells Timothy not to hastily lay hands on anyone else because the gift of the Holy Spirit is transferred through the laying on of hands. He doesn't say anything about a purely doctrinal succession. He says, I gave you the authority to teach in Ephesus. He says, I was appointed by Christ. Now you're being appointed by me to preach in Ephesus. He says, no one else should teach this doctrine in Ephesus, but who's appointed. So Where is this idea that it's only a doctrinal succession and not an actual succession that is a laying on of hands? Doctrine and laying on of hands, it's both, right?
Yeah. I guess if you're going to suppose that it's only a doctrinal succession, you had to suppose that Jesus Christ didn't keep his promise that he made to the church, that he sent the Holy Spirit to lead it into all truth.
Correct.
You kind of have to deny that.
Yeah.
And see, the reason I'm so stuck on it is because, like, I've been part of this church my whole life. You know, I have uncle and family who are pastors and stuff like that. So, like, you know, when it's the only thing that you've heard for so long, it kind of gets
Sure.
built into your head.
Sure.
But have you heard of Hassel's history, Hassel's church history, written by a guy named Sylvester Hassel?
No.
Okay. It's a really long book on Baptist history, and it basically teaches Baptist successionism. But
Okay, just go read the actual church fathers, dude, instead of reading all this retarded, you know, like trail of blood crap, man. That's nonsense. Just go read the actual church fathers, and you're going to see that they teach what Paul teaches to Timothy, right? Remember that through the laying on of hands, the Holy Spirit is given. Okay. No Baptist teaches that historically. And Baptists that are trail of blood Baptists that you're talking about, they will actually say anti-Trinitarian groups are in this lineage. How stupid is that? That alone is a kill shot. Anti-Trinitarian groups that the trail of blood lists. Let me show you. I think they even include Gnostics too, don't they? Let's see. I need a big look at that. We follow the full-size image. We follow Jesus, America, and the nation of Israel. Well, I can't even see it, dude. You should have boomers over here uploading their trail of blood, and it's not even full size. Landmark Baptist Church. Trail of blood, friends. Come on, dude. I just want a full-size version of your tard chart. Oh, come on, dude. All right, let's pick the large ones. I just want the picture, dog. Brother, here we go, brother. So here is the primitive Baptist chart, the trail of blood, as it's called. These are the true Christians in 8th century, friend. By the way, they think that infant baptism came to be in the year 300. This is so stupid. So who are the true Christians? Well, there's a few of them in England and Wales and Italy. Montanists, look at that. So, so charismatics here. Donatists, Cathari, Paulicians, Albigensians. So they link themselves to anti-Trinitarian groups. In order to find the true succession. I will say, though, that at least the Landmark Baptists have the idea that at least there has to be a historic church. So they've at least got that much of it. They're just historic church is a bunch of conflicting, contradicting, openly heretical groups, including anti-Trinitarians. So what does that tell you? Rachel?
Yes, hello. I was just calling in to ask if the blood trail thingy is in any way related to the blood moon pies of Israel.
No, unfortunately it's not. Although I wish we could connect them in some way. And if you're looking to start an evangelical cult, some of you enterprising young grifters out there might be able to make a connection like that. But as of yet, no, there is unfortunately not a known eschatological connection.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Rachel. Shout out to Rachel, and everybody be sure and follow Rachel and Andrew and go check out her book, Occult Roots of Feminism. I mean, a lot of the Landmark Baptists are definitely premillennial, you know, Kiliist believers. So they're going to kind of default support the apple of God's eyes, Israel. Micah, what's up? The blood moon pies of Israel. What up, dog? Unmute, dude. Micah, unmute. See, this is why Jamie bought me this t-shirt. Because you guys don't understand how to work things. It's almost 10 years and you can't figure out how to unmute. Jason, what's up? Jason and the Organauts. Unmute, dude.
Hey, Jay. I want to ask a question about tag.
Okay.
Regarding tag, like, what would you say to someone who's saying, how do you not need to justify God when you're saying, like, God is the precondition for logic? Like, how would you answer that? Because I'm having some trouble regarding that.
Because it's a second order question. It's not a first order question. So you're asking for the justification for the thing that is justification. So it's a paradigm level question, and paradigm level questions are outside of the scope of first order logical justifications.
Okay, thanks. What would you say to, like, if someone says logic is just a brute fact, like there's no need to justify it?
Okay, then God's a brute fact, and there's no need to justify God. So you understand, in a debate, you can do the same thing. So they're not understanding how debate works.
Okay, thanks.
And by the way, to say that it just is what? I mean, that basically tells us nothing. Hank, what's up? Hank Williams Jr., what's up? The problem with I'm not mad at Jason. He has good questions. It's just it's the same questions for 10 years, guys, on tag. It's always the same questions. And it's just like, it gets annoying. Josh, did Nick Fuentes get his style and mannerisms from you? I doubt it. Anonymous, $10. How does Tragedy and Hope compare to Whitney Webb's One Nation Under Blackmail? Vastly different books. I mean, vastly different. I mean, One Nation Under Blackmail is a heavily sourced journalistic expose style book. It's a necessary book, necessary read, absolutely crucial reading, particularly the Epst3in volume. Tragedy and Hope is a 1,200, 1,300 page military history. It's a technical, geopolitical, military style history book. So they are night and day different types of books. Tragedy and Hope is a defense of the Anglo-American establishment. Whitney Webb's book is a journalistic expose of Robert Maxwell, Ghislaine Maxwell, and Jeff Stein McEffery. So they're absolutely could not be further apart in terms of the style of book and what they're about. However, they do obviously overlap because they're the same power structure and establishment being critiqued. But one of them is an apologetic for the establishment, and the other one is a expose. Whitney's book was a slog for me. All of these labyrinthine relationships and textbook details. Is that how Tragedy and Hope reads? Well, honestly, it's going to be more difficult because it's about 1,000 times more labyrinthine historical details. Now, it's not a bad book. In other words, it does, for that type of a book, it's a lot more readable than some normie World War II 1,200 page history book that would put you to sleep. It's a lot better than that. There's a lot more gems, a lot more exciting. But remember, Tragedy and Hope is not a conspiracy expose. It's a person who believes in the establishment, writing from the establishment perspective. By the way, because most people are not going to read that 1,200 page book, I did an entire lecture series for you guys. And it is still on the front page of my channel. People don't search the channel pages, I guess, anymore. But if you go to my page, Tragedy and Hope lectures are still here. And we're 10 years in. So it's a 10-year celebration. Celebrate New World Order. Come on. All right, make sure I didn't miss a super chat here. JB Peltier, do you denounce the neo-Yazis? You mean neo-yays? You talking about Kanye and his "We got Heil Hitler"? We got Heil Hitler. I don't sing the N version. I sing the W version. We got Heil Hitler. None of your business. Jay, there's a compilation of every Nick Cage freakout. It's great stuff. That sounds right up my alley right there. That's what we need to, that's what I want to cover. Thank you guys for your generous super chats today. Appreciate everybody's being very filled with the spirit of generosities. I missed the super chat. Corey says, Corey, your boy Corey, for $5. Prove me wrong. Play the clip of Candace saying, as a statement of fact, Mitch saw what he saw, and I'll send you $20. I already played the clip of Alex playing that. Anonymous sends $50. Thank you so much, Anonymous. Appreciate that. Listen, you want to go believe this tard shit, go for it. And then when you double down and you get refuted on all this tard stuff, then the next week you'll just move on to the next soap opera tard Candace drop, Quandis drop. And then you'll call everybody who disagrees and debunks that one BB Buck receivers. Go for it. Yeah, you're the expert. I've only been studying this for 25 years, but all of these soccer moms and wine moms are now geopolitical assassination, black ops conspiracy. Yeah, you're all right. Yeah, all the wine moms and the Karens and the soccer moms in America are now way more knowledgeable than me. They don't even have to read Tragedy Hope. They've watched Candace. They don't have to read 1,300-page books and lecture through it. You've already surpassed, all the moms have surpassed me because BB bought me out. That's right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Listen, stupid people, as you get older, you realize stupid people get what they deserve. It's just like with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is an IQ test. Okay, well, Candace is an IQ test now. So have fun with that. Aiden says for $50, Jay, I found a Rocor parish not far from me. Is that a good website of the Assembly of Bishops? I mean, if it's a Rocor parish, it's a canonical church. You don't have to worry about all that. I'm not familiar with it. Would you recommend it as a good website? I mean, if it's a Rocor parish, that is a canonical parish. So, but thank you for that super chat. Vigo says for $10. They don't understand all the carols that are sung in winter. All of my brothers, jolly brother, Merry Christmas. Okay, I appreciate that. I don't understand it, but I appreciate it. Andrew, is it because of priestly celibacy for $5 that the papacy has so many voice of Diddy scandals? I think priestly celibacy plays a role in it. But it's more than that. I mean, you understand Tradcats have already even written books on this, right? There's the Tradcat book, Rite of Sodomy, about this. So you can't yell at, oh, it's a ortho bro conspiracy. No, it's a Tradcat that wrote this book. So go read this if you really want to get into the, gay rabbit hole of all this crap. Then read Rite of Sodomy right there by this Tradcat. Chris Elmer, $10. I appreciate what you do. I am currently reading Tragedy and Hope because of your channel. I am 200 pages in. Good. So you're into the section talking about the history of Europe and it setting the stage for modern European civilizations and treaties and international law. And you're going to get to the chapter very soon talking about how Russia is bad and that the future is democratic capitalism. and that all the authoritarian powers represented by the Austro-Hungarian Empire, the Axis powers, and Russia in the Cold War must be destroyed. That's what tragedy. The hope is democratic capitalism and the ridding of the world of the authoritarian powers. And by authoritarian, I mean powers believing in and related to tradition. Hank, what's up? I'm you, dude. I mean, I guess people just want to call, they just want me to get agitated today because we literally made this t-shirt because of this. Hank, can you not unmute? You don't know how this works after 10 years? Okay. Goodbye. John Adams, what's up? John Adams is jealous of Candace because even though he talked about things 10 years ago, Candace, he's ripping Candace off. And he's jealous because he's not a black queen like me and her. John?
Yeah, quick question. So John MacArthur is a 5-point tulip Presbyterian, but he's also a Zionist dispensationalist. How does that work with the PSA?
Well, most dispensationalists believe in PSA. So, where are you seeing a contradiction there?
I'm just saying, how does Jews who put Christ on the cross get into PSA? I'm not, because some evangelicals wouldn't believe that, and that's how I was raised. So,
well, I think that they would just say that there's these promises that are earthly in nature to Israel that are yet to be fulfilled. And so those promises like the millennial kingdom and reigning from Jerusalem, those are not identical to the salvific promises. So many dispensationalists would still say that Jews, if they want eternal salvation, still have to believe in Christ. So they're still, the only access to the Father for salvation eternally is PSA, but God still has these sort of earthly promises to the nation state of Israel that he will fulfill in the dispensation, in the millennial kingdom.
okay, so it's not like a blood inherent thing?
I mean, there could be some dispensationalists who believe in a form of dual covenant theology. Like, I mean, sometimes Ratzinger even sounds like he believes that Jews don't even have to convert to be saved. So there could be some that believe that they can be saved even in Judaism.
Oh, okay, interesting. Yeah, so, but that's kind of what John MacArthur is. He's kind of like a mainline, like kind of a mega church Presbyterian.
Does he believe in the spiritual gifts, or is he a cessationist?
He does not. He's not a charismatic at all. He's like a cessationalist.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure. I didn't remember. I never had a John MacArthur phase. A lot of evangelicals do. Like they have a time where they kind of get into him and they get the MacArthur study Bible and all that. I went straight from reading the John Hagee Prophecy Study Bible when I was 19 to reading Charles Spurgeon and John Calvin and Jonathan Edwards. And so I went directly into, I had a James White Baptist Calvinist phase for maybe a year or two. And then I went full covenant theology Presbyterian when I was 20 or so. PSA is penal substitutionary atonement. That's the Protestant Reformation doctrine that the salvation of human beings is through the perfect law keeping of Jesus, who dies in that perfect state, pays off the debt and the wrath of God, and then in a legal sense puts the believers who believe in him into a legal status of being perfectly righteous before God. So your righteousnesses are filthy rags, and so Jesus does the work for you and puts you in a legal state of being justified, and your works had nothing to do with that. Your faith is what makes you justified, and faith itself is also a gift, according to classical Protestant Reformation teaching. So that model, that transactional, imputational, legal status model, is the essence of Reformation teaching. So that's what PSA means. That's what PSA is historically. The dumb people in the so-called Orthodox world that are like 20-year-old converts that think that Orthodox people teach PSA don't even know the classical Reformation teaching. They don't know what that means. They think that the word penal and substitution have an equivalent meaning between the systems, and so Orthodox also believe in PSA. It's just word concept fallacy, basic stupidity. But in the Reformation teaching, the classical Reformation teaching, it specifically means that, whether you're Presbyterian or whether you're Lutheran or some other evangelical thing, most evangelicals, for the most part, have held to that teaching, although there may be some minor nuances. For example, some evangelicals these days do not believe, as the Reformers did, that Jesus was damned on the cross. Some of them have some alternative variant theories. Damarian, a fellow BIPOC person. What's up, Damarian?
How's it going?
You sound like a white man. I'm a little confused.
No, I'm black.
Oh,
I just
shit.
grew up in
What's up? What's up, my man? What's up, my brother?
So I just wanted to ask you a quick question. So I'm
Hold
wanting
on.
to be-
I'm only taking questions today. I'm not taking questions.
There you go. Ask you a quick question.
Go ahead.
So you believe in the creationist view, and that basically is held up because you believe that there is no death before the fall, right?
That's one reason, but yes.
Okay, so I kind of have an issue with that, only because like I am considering to be Orthodox. Like I go to the Orthodox Church.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a catechumen and everything like that. Mm-hmm. And so I'm wondering, is that like a dogma type of thing? Is that like you have to believe this to be Orthodox? Because I'm under kind of like an Adamite view of things in this, or no, that's not Adamite. No, not Adamite. I'm under the view of looking at the science, seeing that maybe things were actually happening for billions of years, and that animal death did occur, but not in the same way that we view human death after the fall, because it actually encompasses multiple different factors.
I don't even know what that means, but I mean, Romans 8 says that death came through Adam, so it doesn't distinguish.
Right,
it doesn't distinguish animal death, natural death, creation death.
Okay. So to that, I would ask you a question: if Adam and Eve didn't partake of the tree of life at all, what would happen to their bodies? Would they cease? Because to my understanding, it's through the energies of grace, through the communion of the tree of life, that they receive that form of immortality during that time, right?
Well, the tree of life is an image that points to Christ himself. Christ is the actual tree of life. So the only way to be made immortal is not from a tree. It's from actually partaking of the life that the Son of God has. And so in the Orthodox view, if you read the book Deification in Christ by Panagiotis Nellis, he points out that man was always made to be made immortal and to participate in the image of Christ. So he's made after the image of Jesus. And so Adam is a type of Jesus precisely because Jesus is the pattern of Adam. So from that perspective, creation has always been Christological. All the created order was about Christ from the very beginning. So it's not a plan B. It's not possible, like Thomists think, that God could have incarnated as a donkey or anything like that. It has to be the way that he chose to become man so that he could restore our nature. But even if we had not fallen, there was still going to be an incarnation according to the Eastern Church Fathers. So death, from our perspective, is not natural. It's an unnatural thing that invaded through the serpent and through Adam and Eve's failure. So it was never the tree that was going to make them immortal. It was the energies of Christ the entire time. So had they not fallen, they still would have been made immortal through the divine energies of the Son of God.
Right, I understand that. And I understand that, like, there's a symbolic sense to the tree of life and how it represents Christ, everything like that. What I'm more asking of is that they had an active choice to partake in the tree of life. Like, this wasn't something that was forced upon them. And because of that factor, you have to consider what would have happened if they didn't go outside of the bounds of sinning per se, if you get what I mean. And so I'm basically asking, was there a biological death in store for them had they not partaken of the tree of life,
No.
which is understood to be Christ?
No, there's no death at all, because all death, decay, entropy, etc., entered through the sin of Adam. Adam is the steward of creation. So when he fell, the metaphysics of the entire universe shifted. It affected everything. It's not just a moral thing. It's a universal metaphysical scope to the fall, and that's unique to Orthodoxy. The other traditions teach that the fall was a mere moral failing or some spiritual failing, and didn't really affect things in some sort of metaphysical scope. But if you read Genesis, Creation, Early Man by Seraphim Rose, you'll see how vast in scope and cosmic in scope the fall was, such that even nature itself changed. So animals began to be predatory. Animals weren't predatory. There weren't mosquitoes sucking blood prior to the fall. So we have a very different cosmic scope to the fall, and that's why the incarnation is equally cosmic in scope. So Christ redeems and restores and transfigures the entire universe, because Adam destroyed the entire universe, you see. In the Roman Catholic and Protestant schemes, it's really just this moral or spiritual individual kind of thing that happened.
Okay. And I just want to ask another clarification, because I understand what you're saying.
But what I'm saying, okay, I'm saying that theologically, and we can talk about the problems with observing millions of years and all that with the theory, the philosophy of science itself. That's a separate point. But if you read the St. Maximus book on the cosmic redemption of Christ, you'll notice that it's only cosmic in scope because of the fall and Adam's actions being cosmic in scope. And so if you start tinkering with the incarnation and its scope, it doesn't just affect the fall, it also affects the eschatology, because the two are linked. Because Paul says in 1 Corinthians 15 that the scope of Adam's sin is identical to the scope of Jesus's recapitulation. So if you mess up the scope of incarnation and the fall, you will by default mess up the scope of the recapitulation.
Okay. And so kind of what I'm trying to get to is I'm thinking of the moment of when Adam and Eve are created, right? And at this point, they aren't partaking in the tree of life, which understood as the energies and everything like that. From the worldview that you're saying, you would almost have to presuppose that they are receiving grace at this time because they're not having the choice to choose the tree of life. Basically, I'm just asking, what is the state of their being before they partook in the tree of life? Because my understanding is that before they partook, they would have surely been done away with, before that time, if they would have progressed without partaking, right? And this is pre-sin. And so that's kind of the logical thing that keeps getting in my mind about that. I don't know if I'm wording it correctly.
I'm not understanding. I don't mean to be difficult. I just don't understand I don't understand. Can you state it again or differently?
Okay. Yeah. So Adam and Eve are fashioned, right? And there is a state of being that they're in where they haven't partaken of the tree of life. And
they're in a mutable state, correct?
Okay, and I'm basically asking, what is that state of being defined as if the tree of life is considered to be the grace that gives them immortality? Does that mean that if they, in that state, are they, I'm not trying to say death, but a biological decay in that sense? I don't know how else to put it.
The fact that they're in a mutable state morally has nothing to do with bodily physical decay. Well, why would there be It seems like you're looking for a way to have theistic evolution meshed with, you know, our view. But the problem is that the Council of Trullo and its canons teach that you cannot say that death existed before Adam fell. So.
Right, but I'm more focusing on like the importance of communion with God and what that looks like before they even partook of the tree of life. That's kind of what I'm getting at.
Okay, but what does that have to do with like physical, biological death? I'm not getting.
Okay, so I'm just basically saying before they partook, was their state that they would live on regardless. So like this whole idea of death didn't exist, and so this almost presupposes that before they partook, even if they didn't partake outside of the bounds of like sin or whatever, they would be practically like, what is the state of their being? Like that's what I'm basically trying to get at. Like in that moment in time,
we're just told that they're in a mutable state, which was subject to change. So they could have sinned and they could have not sinned. That's all we're told. But you're saying, well, could they have continued on indefinitely in that state? I don't know. We're not ever told that.
Okay. I mean, so if it doesn't state that, and if it's not very clear, doesn't that mean that there is room for speculation? I'm not trying to like.
No, look, let's just put it this way. I mean,
yeah.
Do any of the church fathers teach theistic evolution?
I mean, no, they don't teach theistic evolution, but there are church fathers. I think Basil the Great talked about how animals did have a mortal state before.
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't say that?
He teaches 6-day creation. So have you read the Hexameron?
I have not.
Okay. So the whole Hexameron is 6-day creation. That's the whole purpose of it. So you're not going to find theistic evolution proof in him or Athanasius. When they talk about mortality, it's in the context of man's state and mode of being after the fall. He's not saying that animals were mortal before the fall. There is no death. Like there's no basis or reason to believe in any kind of death before the fall, and nobody teaches that. None of the church fathers teach that. So there is no basis for theistic evolution in the Orthodox view. Anyway, I appreciate your questions, but I mean, just take a look at First Created Man by Saint Simeon, and take a look at Genesis, Creation, Early Man by Father Seraphim Rose, and you're going to notice nobody has anything like theistic evolution. Now, maybe it's all wrong and theistic evolution is right, but if theistic evolution is right, Christianity is not right. What's up, man?
Yo,
what's up?
I had a question, fam.
I'm only taking questions.
Oh, questions? You know what I mean, fam. So I was just wondering though, like a lot of this is just semantics when it comes to the saints, but like, are we praying to the saints, and how does this look in your spiritual life?
We're asking the saints to pray for us.
So we're praying to like.
We're asking for their. It's called the intercession of saints. So we're asking them to pray for us. Zora, what's up? I'm trying to find the canon from Trullo. And I hate it when it won't pull up my tweets because you have to figure out how you worded the tweet. I can't type at a weird angle. What's up, man? I'm mute.
Hey, Jake, can you hear me? It says I'm a listener. Yeah, this thing's glitching out, man. Thanks for having me. By the way, nice BIPOC references, but I want to let you know I'm Andrew Wilson's illegitimate black son.
Okay.
And I might have you beaten out there, brother. But all jokes aside, I just wanted to ask, around the CQ crowd, there's an argument going around that Christ is a mythical figure. And they seem to reject any
CQ. Candace question?
Yeah. Not Christian question. Christ question.
Oh.
Yeah, Adam Green crowd.
Oh, that, okay.
Yep. They seem to reject any notion of philosophers and historians like Josephus and the like from the time period. What would you suggest as a good argument to I guess, present to them and put their feet to the fire.
Well, on what basis are we supposed to not believe in those historical references? So to just discount them and hand wave them, first of all, isn't an argument. And if he's going to rely on Jewish traditions to refute Christianity or to critique Christianity or to say, well, look at the Jews at this time, they said this and did this. Well, if Josephus, if those things are not reliable, why would Talmudic traditions that he uses to refute Christianity be reliable? So it's just sort of picking and choosing. It seems to me it would be arbitrary and ad hoc. But I mean, if you watch Jeem or Dr. David Patrick Harry's debate with Adam Green, I mean, Adam Green he can't debate. He's pitiful.
Yeah, you suggested it last time I watched it. It was an absolute nightmare. The final thing that they always bring up is that there are no archaeological or historical finds from the Bible to go back to. I mean,
that's total nonsense. I mean, we have what's his name? Orthodox archaeologist is a good buddy of mine. I'm trying to think of his Twitter handle. I'm just going to pull him up because this keeps coming up.
And by the way, Jim,
Yeah,
you
go ahead.
knocked it right on the head when you said they discount the argument because they claim anything Old Testament was Jewish. So yeah, that's not an argument, brother. So that's really awesome. You picked up on it right away.
Thank you. Yeah, here we go. Let's see. I asked my other friend his Twitter profile. James. He doesn't go by his normal name on Twitter, and I can't remember what it is. I wish he was more active because he could do a lot more damage to these dummies if he was in the sphere.
I'm sure, and I'm Armenian by culture and origin. So I mean, we have Noah's Ark to go off of on Mount Ararat. We had the guy in the late '80s, early '90s, I believe, when he found it. Well, it's part of Turkey, they call it now, but we call them historic Armenian lands, and that apparently doesn't account for anything towards them. The chariots in the sea don't account for anything. So it's basically just discrediting arguments that they can't refute at this point.
Oh, I found him. Dr. James Gilbert, except that it's not his Twitter. He put a weird name up. Bodacious Bulks.
Think how many hoops you have to jump through to make like billions of years work, as opposed to like a crack in the earth happening overnight, which we can prove empirically.
Right. Yeah, good point, John. BAUOKS.
Which there's multiple examples of, by the way.
All right, so people who are curious, Dr. James Gilbert, who I've hung out with many, many times. We used to go to the same church for a while until he moved. He is a legit Orthodox archaeologist. So if you are interested and you want to get more information on that, you can hit him up here, Bodacious Bulks with a U. And he's also a really good singer too, by the way. He has a YouTube channel, but he doesn't have anything on it. He should be making YouTube videos. Like, we need people like out here doing Orthodox biblical archaeology. But yeah, thank you for reminding me of him, by the way. Zora, appreciate that.
Thank you.
Light of Theosis, what's up? You want to unmute?
Oh, sorry, Jay.
It's
Good
okay.
evening. How are you?
Great. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for asking. Big fan of yours. Just want to say, really appreciate your work. You are the reason I became Orthodox about a year ago, so thank you.
Many years to you, bro.
I appreciate that. So I had a quick question. I don't know if you saw a recent post from a Father John Azar Claypool.
Yeah, he's the defrocked schismatic lunatic. But no, I don't keep up with his posts.
Well, he made a recent post that would have been today around 7 or so, where he basically called you out on your quote, condescending apologetics. And he made a comment along the lines of he didn't know that Orthodoxy even needed apologetics. I went down the line of that's not true because that's basically what Jesus and the apostles engaged in their time with the
How many
Pharisees.
church fathers and I mean, it's
Exactly.
so silly.
So my question to you is, how would you go about, I guess, reinforcing I don't want to say aggressive, for lack of a better word, but the aggressive approach to Orthodox apologetics, and how can ortho bros, as is the negative label given to people who, defend the faith with zeal, how can we justify that approach?
Yeah. So I mean, if you read the church fathers, you don't have to go very far into Saint Jerome or into Saint John Damascus before or Athanasius writing against the Arians, or Saint Cyril writing against Nestorius. They call them morons. They call them idiots. They call them demons. They call them devils. I mean, all of the worst appellations you could think of, the church fathers. I mean, St. Cyril of Jerusalem says, hate all heretics in his catechetical lectures. So these are people who are ignorant, and you shouldn't be listening to schismatics anyway. Why are you following a schismatic, defrocked guy who follows a Zionist bishop who isn't even a bishop? It's just like, why do you guys even follow these people? Why waste your time with these people? Proverbs says, debate your case with your neighbor. Do not disclose the secret to another. So, no, it's not always wrong to debate. Paul disputes daily in the synagogues and in the marketplaces with the Jews that Christ is the Messiah. Trying to find that you have to figure out what term is used because it's not dispute or debates. Reasoned. Acts 17. As was Paul's custom, he went in and reasoned with them from the scriptures. Some translations say disputed. Some translations say debated. And he would do this for days. And there's multiple instances of this in the book of Acts. If you read the book of Sirach, Sirach talks about reasoning and debating. If you read the book of Ezekiel, it says that God says to Ezekiel, I will give you arguments that none of the Jews can refute. You will refute them. This is in Ezekiel 3 in the Septuagint translation. The house of Israel will be unwilling to listen to you because they are unwilling to listen to me. The house of Israel is argumentative and hard-hearted. However, I have made your face strong against their faces. I will strengthen your case against their arguments. Your arguments will be stronger than a rock. Why didn't God say, oh, Ezekiel, do not debate? That's what orthobros do. Let's see. I was just reading Wisdom of Sirach at church the other day, by the way, and I noticed, hey, this talks about debating. Sirach 8.
Because of wisdom, I have glory amongst the multitudes and honor in the presence of the elders, even though I am young. I will be found keen in judgment. I will be admired in the sight of rulers. When I am silent, they will wait for me. And when I speak, they will give heed. When I speak longer, they will put their hands over their mouths. I will have immortality because of her wisdom, and I will have an eternal remembrance. For those who exist after me, I will govern peoples, and nations will be in subject to me. And by the way, I did a whole lecture through all of Sirach. We did 3 podcasts about 5 years ago, lecturing through the entirety of Sirach. There's other places too that talk about public debate and engagement, and basically the opponents having to shut their mouths because they don't have any arguments. And Jesus has the same experience with the Pharisees. So this idea that, I mean, that should tell you right there that you're talking to a ridiculous person. So even though Paul says that we tear down all the strongholds and the arguments against Christ, where is the wise? Where is the disputer of this age? God has made foolish the wisdom of this world. Always be ready to have an answer, an apologia for the hope that is in you. Travis, what's up? Travis, what's up? I'm mute.
Hey, Jay. I've been going to Greek Orthodox Church with my family just for a little bit now, but I just want to call in and ask, for the longest time in my 20s, I consumed a lot of Jordan Peterson, all of the lectures, and I made it through a decent bit of his recommended reading list. And I know that some of the obvious things about his interpretations on the Old Testament and some of those things I can kind of omit from my worldview and paradigm and stuff, but I'm just wondering, like, because a lot of the Jungian stuff is, and the Eric Neumann, a young student, is all kind of interladen into what Jordan's saying all the time, and I'm just wondering what your opinion is on that, and if I should work to kind of get that out of my...
You can go watch all my podcasts where I deconstruct and analyze Jungian stuff, and I've got probably 8 podcasts on Jordan Peterson, and I mean very in-depth ones where we go piece by piece, point by point, pros and cons. So I would say check those out, because I will do kind of a pre-sup of a lot of the Jungian stuff, which is all just Gnosticism. But notice how unfamiliar and just how foreign the actual patristic writings are to these people. I mean, I remember off the top of my head, St. Cyril of Jerusalem says, hate all heretics in Catechetical Lectures. This is Catechetical Lecture 620. Now, understand that in the catechesis, he's doing apologetics. He is refuting and defending the Orthodox faith from all of these dumb heresies. And I think, if I remember from here, he's talking about the Manichaeans. Yeah. Hate all the heretics, especially those who are named after the Mania, or the Manichaeans. They're dualists. Oh, look at the evil ortho bro saying hate all heretics. I mean, does he not realize that? What do you think against Eunomius is? Against Eunomius by Basil is a 200-page book of apologetics against Eunomius. Against Eunomius by St. Gregory of Nyssa is an 800-page apologetic against Eunomius. St. Athanasius is against the Arians, is an apologetic against the Arians. So we have lunatics that claim to be Orthodox leaders and priests who are actually mentally ill people. Do you not understand? Can you guys not recognize mentally ill people? To say that we don't do apologetics is so fundamentally ignorant and stupid that anyone that even I mean, it's almost like people are they just gaslight people and rely on the power of gaslighting just with the most insane level shit. Like,
Yeah, we don't do orthodoxy has never done apologetics. Oh, okay. What about all of these examples that I just gave from the church fathers? Yeah, that's not apologetics. Just gaslighting. I mean, that's all I could imagine. I mean, just to be so fundamentally ignorant and stupid, to be so actually unaware of like, I mean, guys, I've been reading the church fathers, as you can see with the sticky notes here, for 25 years. I started in around the year 2000s when I got this church father set. So I've been reading the church fathers for 25 years. They are absolutely vicious and nasty with heretics, most of them. And when I am 1/4 as nasty and vicious, these people lose their minds. Why? Because everybody is such a bunch of Skittles soy men. Especially the church, man. The church is the most gay cucked thing ever, dude. It's so crazy. All the churches, by the way. The Orthodox Church is the least. But you understand, that person isn't even Orthodox. And yet we have thousands, he has like 10,000 followers. All he does is talk shit about me all day long. He's a defrocked schismatic openly on his website. And people have noticed, they don't care. Oh, I want to hear what he says. We must hear out and listen to every lunatic, every schismatic, every schizo must have their day. We must hear them all out. All of them must be visually and absolutely refuted every single day. No, not everybody deserves a hearing. Have you not figured this out? Frankish Melkite, $20. The Baptist idea of succession of doctrine is ridiculous. They will claim a descent from the Paulicians and the Bogomils. The Paulicians were Unitarians and proto-Islamic, and the Bogomils believe that Jesus Christ is Michael the Archangel. They're all rooted in the hatred of Christ's church. Exactly. That's exactly what, when I one time, when I was a Calvinist, there was a Landmark Baptist church here in my hometown. And I went to visit it because there weren't a whole lot of Calvinist options, right? I think we had 2 Calvinist options that were openly Calvinist, right? Not PCUSA, but, and so I went to only went there like 2 times, but I went to a Landmark Baptist church to see what they were all about. And the guy gave me the Trail of Blood. I've still got my Trail of Blood right there. I can see it over on my shelf. And I opened it up, and even in the year, I don't know, that was like 2001, 2000, around the same time as I got the church father set. Even then, I knew that those were anti-Trinitarian groups. And so I folded out the Trail of Blood thing, and I asked the pastor, Brother David Hitt, I said, how are you linking yourself to these anti-Trinitarian groups? And he said, brother, they love Jesus. That's what matters. And they weren't part of the apostate whore of Rome. That was his answer. I was like, so it's more important to be anti-Trinitarian and against Rome than to actually have Trinitarian teach. And I just thought that was so crazy. I never went back. So, I mean, this is stuff that I'm not trying to be arrogant, but I figured this stuff out in the year 2000. Come on, guys, catch up. B Rizzle, $5. Valhalla is a veteran, the guy that does the channel. Jay Dyer is not a veteran. Ooh, uh-oh. Are you talking about me or his buddy? I think you mean his buddy. His buddy is not a vet, but he's Nate's longtime friend and seemingly a good dude. Okay, you're talking about the 2 guys that do that geopolitics channel. Oh yeah. Darth Jeff, $20. Merry Christmas, Jay. Merry Christmas to you guys. By the way, real Christmas is coming up next week, or in January 7th. Happy fake papal Christmas to everybody. Zane, $10. This is off subject, but have you read Gene Wolfe's book of the Sun, New Sun? No, I've never heard of it. I don't know what that is. I suggest it if you like sci-fi, fantasy, and philosophy. I mean, I'm open to that. The problem is that so much of that shit's woke. Like sci-fi and fantasy is just like the gateway to all this woke nonsense that we have. I mean, I like older, I was planning to read William Gibson's Neuromancer next.
I would like to eventually get to Snow Crash because that's big in Silicon Valley. But I'm open to, sci-fi that isn't just faking gay. Darth Jeff, $5. They will just say, carry your cross, which is their way of being pious and saying, shut the F up. Do you mean the piety signalers? Who do you mean? Anonymous, $5. The dude was asking if Adam and Eve would have died before they ate the tree of life, missing the whole point of the imagery. Oh, is that what he meant? No, they wouldn't have died. It represents communion with God. It's not a literal immortality dispenser. Separation from God is what brings death. Exactly. No, I agree with you, Anonymous. Yeah. Corey Sanders sends $5, and I can't pull up a YouTube link from here, dude. Here is the link, and the timestamp is at 56 minutes in. It shows that she never confirmed who he saw. You're missing the whole point, dude. You want to debate over whether Candace confirmed every detail of her dude. The dude is a con man and not credible. So she should have vetted the con man, Corey. That's the point. Y'all want to play word games. Well, Candace didn't technically say that. She doesn't have to technically say that everything he's saying is correct. And Alex didn't say that she said everything Mitch said was correct. The metaverse is in Snow Crash. Yeah, I knew that. Yeah. How do you join the open call? Guys, come on. If you go to the link in the show description, you call in on Twitter. We've been doing this the same way for almost 10 years, you guys. I'm mute, dude. I can't read all that gibberish as your handle. What's up, man? I'm mute.
Hello?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so do you know who Capturing Christianity is?
Of course.
Yeah, so him and one of the top philosophers for Catholicism were talking about presuppositionalism, and they were talking about how you don't need God for knowledge. And they were bringing up foundationalism and how you have basic beliefs. What would be your critique of that idea? Because I know it's retarded.
I probably got 15 podcasts critiquing foundationalism, usually the stuff that I do with FDA. So I don't have the energy right now to rehearse all of that. So if you go to Patristic Faith and you see this playlist here, tag, this is a 22 video playlist that will answer all of your questions. Jacon, what's up? Jay treats the spot he's in temporarily as absolute truth. As if, no, so you don't even understand that's just a stupid low-tier subjectivist argument. You changed your mind before, so how do you know you're right now? Everybody changes their mind. So then everything would be subjective because everybody has at some point changed their mind. It's just such a stupid argument. I'm mute. Jacon, you want to talk or not? Okay, goodbye.
Yeah.
Vic, what's up? Anonymous. No, we did that.
Hey there.
What's up?
What's up, man? Just quickly, I'm looking for a little bit of advice on literature. I won't give you the full backstory, but I come from a Protestant background, and I've just come to the understanding that orthodoxy is the way to go. I've started reading Seraphim Rose, which has been fantastic, but I saw a clip of you, and you were talking about...
You what?
I saw a clip of you, and you were talking about...
a clip? Okay, go ahead, yeah.
Yeah, the Westminster Confession or something. And I realized that I haven't even done my own legwork inside Protestantism. So I just wondered if you could direct me into, I suppose, a holistic view of the church and its history.
You mean really the only thing I could recommend for that is a book? Is that okay? Or are you talking about videos?
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
No, yeah, you want to read perfect. So you want to read the first 2 or 3 volumes of Yaroslav Pelikan's book, Christianity and the Catholic Tradition.
Yaroslav
Pelikan, Pelikan.
Yep.
And he has a 5-volume set called The Christian Tradition. You don't need to even worry about the last 2 volumes. They're retarded. All you need to do is read the first 3 volumes because that deals with the first 1,000 years. If you want to read the volume 4 as Reformation, you can.
Okay, wonderful. Also, I saw that you pointed to your bookshelf and you were referring to the Church Fathers. Is that something that you recommend for most people to read, or?
I mean, it's really entirely up to you. I would recommend everybody be familiar with some of the Church Fathers for sure. Like I would definitely read the orations of St. Gregory of Nazianzus. I would read On the Holy Spirit by St. Basil. I would read On the Incarnation by St. Athanasius. I would read On Christian Doctrine by St. Augustine. You know, those are all, necessary reads.
Let's see, Athanasius, Basil, and Augustine.
Yeah, those are kind of like, classic sort of starting points in the Church Fathers.
Fantastic, man. Thank you so much.
Sure. No, good questions, Vic. Appreciate that. RDLT. Guys, are you excited for more gaming streams? I noticed we got a pretty big drop off when we went from Red Dead Redemption to Red Dead Redemption round 2. We went from 22,000 people to 12,000. So I'm even though I thought round 2 was still pretty funny, everybody seemed to have a lot of laughs. We had drunk Reverend Jordan Peterson in the second stream, which was pretty funny. But I think maybe we should move on because I didn't realize that was such a vast open world game of hundreds of hours. We can always come back to it, but the number 2 recommended gaming stream was Cyberpunk 2077. So maybe we'll try that next. And I will eventually get a cam for doing that if we continue to do those. I mean, I'm open to a round 3 of Red Dead Redemption, but we only had half of the audience show up. So RDLT, what's up, man? I'm mute.
Hey, Jay, can you hear me?
Uh-huh.
So I've been inquiring Orthodox for about a year now. I just have had a lot of personal struggles trying to get into the church, but I've got a friend who rejects the Orthodox Church and pretty much everything that comes along with it. Like, he's very Protestant, and he says often that he only submits to Christ. Is there a good way to answer this, or a good argument against this?
Well, Paul says, if they will not hear the church, then cast them out. Jesus says, he who hears you hears me. So there's no such thing as Jesus alone without a church in history. Paul says not to forsake the assembling together. So the entire history of 2,000 years of the church being discarded for, I just follow Jesus, it's really just a form of idolatry. So I would point out to him that the only way to know Jesus is through the teaching of the historical body that he established. Caleb, what's up, man?
Hello?
Hey.
Do you have a good book that is like the life of St. Athanasius?
I don't know off the top of my head, no.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. I mean, I typically focus on the theology of Athanasius specifically. There might be a book on that. I just don't know what it would be. Cam, what's up? Zane says for $10, the book is not woke. From what I remember, it was written in the 80s. It's a bit older. I agree with you. I hate woke, faking gay sci-fi. This is actually good because it's hard to find good sci-fi. Yeah, exactly.
And what was the name of it? Let me scroll back up. The Book of the New Sun. What's up, man? I'm mute. Cam, are you gonna talk or not?
Oh, my fault. My fault.
Okay, what's up?
Thanks for having me. I've been in a recent ongoing debate with some homies. It's kind of 3 different arguments on the best mode to convert people or to get people to start coming to church. And the first mode is this person believes that we should start showing people more relics and things like that. Try to explain like the Shroud of Turin and get people to, I guess, experience that awe and wonder that comes with some of the relics. The next argument is, and unfortunately, he doesn't do it very good, the subject matter justice, but he tries to use the tag and like kind of beating people into a philosophical corner, then to unload Christianity. And then I argue for these people are scientific rationalists. Their religion is psychology. So I think it's probably best to like do one-on-ones where you're kind of speaking in their trauma-filled language of psychology to them and getting them to unpack what their hang-ups are with Christianity and then apply apologetics.
Yeah, that could work. I mean, I think that what you should do, my recommendation would be tailor the style to the person. So if these are people that you know, and it sounds like these are circles of people that are familiar with each other, like tailor it to what that person is like and into, right? So if this is a person who's an artist and they're into aesthetics, well, send them some beautiful Orthodox chant and icons and get them to come to the liturgy and appreciate it aesthetically. Okay. They're not going to care about tag and philosophy arguments. If it's a dude that's into philosophy, he's going to like that stuff. Right. So tailor your evangelism. As Paul says, I become all things to all men. So I think it helps to know the person in question better than trying to there's not one size fits all. Like Benantium said earlier, a lot of people who came to this channel were interested in geopolitical stuff. They were interested in Hollywood, movies, symbolism. And then they saw, oh, he also talks about this Orthodox stuff. What is that? So whatever works, man. And I don't mean that in the megachurch sense. Hippasus, what's up? JB Peltier says for $5. Hey, what's up?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah. So I've been going through I purchased your Tragedy and Hope series about 7 years ago. I'm doing a critique of it, and I have 6 questions specifically about your theory of the Tragedy and Hope theory. And the first one was
my theory of the theory. What do you mean?
The theory of the Anglo-American establishment. And at the end of Quigley's book, he ends before the civil rights legislation of the Kennedys, and he doesn't even mention Tammany Hall. How would the civil rights legislation in Tammany Hall, its history with Al Smith, FDR, Joseph P. Kennedy, going up into the Kennedy, basically the royal family of Catholics in America, how does that comport with the Anglo-American establishment theory?
So I don't think there is a Anglo establishment theory. I think he's just analyzing the power structure in the 1960s as it existed at that time. So certainly things after that time came to the fore, like the WASP Zionist Alliance, which didn't really exist in Quigley's day. So he didn't really focus on it. And also he could have just not been honest about it. He could have been suppressing that side of it because he focuses more on Rockefellers and that angle of it. More so than he does Zionists, but also from the American perspective, the Zionists probably didn't have as much influence and control as they would have in the succeeding decades after the 1960s, and particularly things like the civil rights movement, did benefit the Zionists, for example. So I don't see that that's incompatible with what you're calling the theory.
Well, it's the Tammany Hall Kennedy platform was specifically to benefit Irish and Italian Roman Catholics, and how he's trying, and you and Alex Jones are trying to portray some Anglo-American establishment theory, given that the Tammany Hall regime moving up from Al Smith to FDR and the Kennedy family is very clearly.
Okay, so the Kennedys really controlled America. Catholic. Is that what you're arguing?
Oh, that's a fact. That's absolute
okay.
fact.
All right, it's too retarded to even continue with. Goodbye.
So number 2.
Goodbye.
You melt down again.
I didn't melt down. It's just too stupid. Irish Catholics are really controlling America. Are you serious? Okay. I think that's got to be a troll. He's got to be joking. Tyndall, what's up? That's a new one on me, right? Have you seen we used to joke about the meme. What's the merchant? The merchant meme, but now it's this. This was a joke I made like 10 years ago. Where instead of a certain type of person, it's another type of person. So this is this guy's theory, right? That's that the Irish Kennedy control of America. Yeah, sure. Yeah, everybody believes that one. Monique, $73. I got a question. What's your best advice for dealing with persecution of Christian beliefs? Well, do your best to ask God to give you love for your enemies. That is the hardest thing in this life, is to love our enemies. That's hard. It doesn't mean, by the way, that you become a mat that people just walk all over you. It means that even in the midst of opposition, you pray and hope for those people to repent. It does not mean that you let them just, grape you and do whatever they want to you. And it's like he presents it like this is your and Alex Jones's theory. It's Dr. Carol Quigley is writing from the CFR archives. He's writing from the archives of the Rockefellers. But no, actually, it's the Kennedys and the Catholics that control America. And then he says I melted down just because I said his position was retarded. What's up, Tyndall? What's up?
Hey, Jay. First off, how are you, man?
I'm good. I'm trying to cover for the Kennedys because I secretly work for RFK Jr.
You're deep. You're deep in the New World Order, man. But anyways, a guy asked about how to. I kind of.
You cut out. Repeat it. You cut out. Repeat it.
My bad, guys. Can you hear me right now?
Just repeat the question quick. Go.
So basically, a guy was asking you about how to get people to come to church.
Yeah.
And you said what Paul would say is you have to become like the person in a way so you can give them a little bit of what you have. And that's totally right. But another thing that popped in my mind was John chapter 6, when Jesus fed the people the day before. Mm-hmm. And then they followed him all the way across the river to try to find him the next day. But they didn't want to find him to listen to his miracles. They wanted to follow him to get fed again, food. And that's what a lot of these churches do with like the poor people is they can get people to come to their church just for food, and they're able to preach to the poor with food because they gave them some food. Even though that wasn't the point of Jesus's miracle, that's one way that they brought him in.
Yeah, a lot of Orthodox churches offer meals, after liturgy as well. And absolutely, that's definitely a great idea. Thornton Shield, $20. Daniel Hakikachu wants a pan-Islamic unity. In your estimation of the current geopolitical situation, does that seem like a losing battle? Yeah, there's no way those goober tribes are all going to unite. The CIA recognized this like 70 years ago. The Gulf states normalized with Israel, and they fund the spread of Wahhabism and Islam worldwide. Yeah, but that doesn't mean they're all going to unite. Islam is the broom of Zionism and Judaism. So in that sense, you're correct. But I don't know that there's going to be any pan-Islamic unity. Unless just the spirit of Antichrist is successful in uniting everybody, which is a possibility because Islam is Antichrist as well. So I suppose that's possible. Drew, what's up?
Dude, I saw the funniest shit the other day, and it made me think of you. I was I was in El Paso over Christmas, and I went downtown with my girlfriend, and I come around the corner, and there's a group of Black Hebrew Israelites.
My people.
Your people. And they're doing their retard apologetics to a group of...
That's what you call it, because you racist. That's all you got, man. That's all you got, because you racist.
Yeah.
You a Edomite, and you ain't got no arguments.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, so they're doing their apologetics. They're doing their apologetics through a translator to these, like, 4'3" Guatemalan illegal immigrants. And the immigrants
What to do? What, like, to convince them of what? Like,
I was only there for like 30 seconds because I started laughing so hard that it was causing a scene, and my girlfriend was like, "We gotta go." But the part I heard was they were trying to convince these Guatemalans that Jesus was black. And dude, it is so funny to me that even like the 4'3", you know, brown,
even a Guatemalan, a simple coffee picker man understands how stupid that is.
Yeah, he was going, "No negro, no."
That's hilarious.
Yeah, that's all I got, Jay.
Somebody had uploaded a recent, because we've only had a few golden moments of these goofballs calling in, and I thought it was a recent clip. Let's see if we can find it, because this is it from 4 days ago. Black Hebrew Israelites. I mean, there's a bunch of these. Here's one right here. This one's good.
I'm Captain Tazaryak of ISUBK. We teach that in North Central and South America that the original children of the book are the Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Now, of course, we're scattered across the four corners, so we are like in Africa, Europe, and stuff like that. We also teach that the people...
This one is funny because it gets heated, and he immediately says, "You racist. That's why you making that argument, because you racist. Why you interrupted me? You right." That's all he does. Like the whole debate is just him saying, "Oh, you racist." Monique, I appreciate that question, but I mean that question. It's just really hard to deal. I mean, when you say deal with persecution, I mean, does that just mean how do I handle it, or do you mean like what do we do with Nigerians being Christians in Nigeria being persecuted? We get more Nicki Minaj's. Right? We get more Nicki Minaj. That's what we need more of. Good God the Father, $5. My pimp bishop says that you don't want no trail of blood. That's the evidence right there. He talking about, he laying down the threats against the ops, right? He talking about trail of blood. That's what's about to happen when you come against me. When you fight the emperors of Byzantium, you about to see a trail of blood. Anonymous, $5. No, we already did that. All right, we about to get down to the line here, but about to wind it up. Isaac, what's up? I'm getting tired.
Hello, Jay.
Hello.
You still taking questions?
I'm only taking questions. What's up?
All right, cool. Man, what you got to say about people who be saying Melchizedek is actually Jesus?
No, that's crazy. It's in the Orthodox tradition. Melchizedek is, some people say it's one of the sons of Adam, right? Or excuse me, one of the sons of Noah. I think that's some in the Orthodox tradition. Seraphim Hamilton argues that, but it's not Jesus because he's a specific person whose priesthood symbolizes Jesus. So when it says that he's of no, like we don't know his lineage, it's just making an analogy between the fact that we don't know his origin or where he got that priesthood, in the same way that Jesus' priesthood is from heaven. It's not saying that because we don't have a list of his priesthood that it's Jesus.
Melchizedek is a type of Christ. Well, you can't be a type of Christ if you are Christ. Christ isn't going to be a type of himself. So Hebrews is saying that because there's details unknown about him, he's kind of a mysterious figure, that his priesthood is a type of Christ's priesthood. And in the Orthodox Church, he has his own icon. He's not Jesus, he's Melchizedek. If he was Jesus, he would be Jesus. But he has his own icon because he's Melchizedek. Let's see. Last couple questions here. I'm getting tired. Will, what's up? Will, why did you come out on Stranger Things? You came out of the closet, Will. You found your inner Skittles power and you came out the closet to take down Vecna.
Yo, Jay, what's up, man?
What's up?
I just had a quick question about orthodoxy, if that's all right. Forgive me if this sounds basic, but is there like an infallible list of which councils are infallible?
No, I don't have the same epistemology as a Roman Catholic. So if you're trying to do a tu quoque on me, that's not going to work.
Okay, because this was just something I had been hearing from Protestants trying to refute like orthodoxy, and they were saying like you need a infallible list of infallible councils, or else we don't really know, or else you run into
why do I need that?
Well, in my mind, I was thinking it was similar to the logical problem that Protestants run into when they say with the canon of scriptures, because they say it's an fallible collection of infallible books. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it's confusing two different questions, right? So we're not arguing that having an infallible list gives you certitude about the infallible canons. The whole reason we raise that question against the Roman Catholics is because Roman Catholics treat infallibility as an epistemic principle that they think will give them certitude. So we're just simply pointing out that it's begging the question, because how do I know? You're just moving the problem back a step. How do I know that this list of the infallible Roman Catholic dogmas is infallible? Okay, that's a critique of that paradigm. If I have a different paradigm where I'm not expecting there to be that type of a thing, I'm not going to be subjected to that critique. So we're arguing that the Orthodox paradigm is a totally different paradigm in terms of knowledge and epistemology. The argument between the Roman Catholic, the Protestant, and the Orthodox is not about individual certitude. It's a different question. It's a question of what are the means that the Holy Spirit uses in history to give believers knowledge of doctrine and God. The Roman Catholic says it's you and the papal documents. The Protestant says it's you and the Bible. The Orthodox says it's you and the councils and the church fathers and the Bible, etc. Right? So where we are differing is the means. And the question then becomes, okay, well, what was the means that the church used in the last 2,000 years to know God and to know true doctrine? If the means of the Protestant church are false, the means of the Roman Catholic Church are false, and the means of the Orthodox Church are correct and in line with the history, then we know that the Orthodox Church is the church of history. That's the argument. Separately, there's the argument of normative authority. Did Jesus establish a body of people with the ability to bind consciences to an interpretation? That is not an argument about epistemic certitude. It's about authority. So everybody confuses these arguments mainly because Roman Catholics have done a piss poor job of debating Protestants with this argument of the papacy providing certitude. That is what has caused so much of the confusion around this question. And it takes philosophy, unfortunately, to get in there and to separate this out with certitude and clarity. That's where philosophy can come in to help us. Monique says for $10, Jesus talks about that you should expect persecution for your beliefs. I experience people who openly mock Jesus and mock God. Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, we got to be, willing to just deal with that. We're going to experience that on a daily basis. You're going to see people mocking Christianity, blaspheming. It's part of this fallen world. So you just have to deal with, as the boomers say, deal with what we are dealt, deal the hand we are dealt, and just pray for them and realize that they don't. What does Jesus say on the cross? They know not what they do. There we go. Randolph, last few questions because I'm getting kind of tired. Do y'all want me to do another Red Dead Redemption stream, or do y'all want another a different game, a Cyberpunk stream? What's up, man? I'm mute. Randolph, I'm mute. Okay, don't. Reader Seraphim.
Hey, Jay, can you hear me?
Uh-huh.
Hey, man. I just want to make a comment. Now, I'm no expert in like YouTube and how to actually promote the channel and all. But something I did notice was, since people are unfortunately brain dead and have a low attention span, I was thinking if you put your long live streams on your live streams channel and your absurdities channel, and then if you posted clips on your main channel, I don't know if maybe that might bring in more people, because unfortunately people like to watch more clips and they don't really like to watch actual educated live streams.
Yeah. Yeah, it's something to consider. I'll think about it. I do still. The thing is that live streaming on the channel is a pretty significant source of income, and people are pretty generous and they super chat here, and so we make a living partially doing that. And I could test out a live stream on the Clips channels, but I mean the thing is that for people who want the Clips channels, the good news is that we've got 10 Clips channels now just churning it out on a daily. So, and they're making, good thumbs. They're killing it. I mean, these are good. This is awesome. So I think we'll keep it like it is for now, but we'll see. I'll think about it. Lux, $5. Why does stigmata up here in the West and not in the East? Because it's a delusion. It's not part of actual Christian sanctity. Hades Undead, $5. Are you a bubbler bather or a normie? Does that mean, are you talking about when I take baths, do I use bubble baths? Not really. So I guess I'm a normie bather. Okay, I'll own it. JB Peltier, people are against debate, basically saying that analytical types should not be able to come into the church. Well, it is a very sort of passive, aggressive, feminine way to approach the world. Oh, I don't debate because, Jesus would never do that, and I'm a soft person. Well, we don't see that, in scripture and tradition. So it seems more like an excuse or it's just a way for you to feel like you're better than other people, right? And a lot of people are insecure, so they need to look for ways to feel better or superior to other people. You as you get older, you will realize that a lot of people in life are insecure and they feel intimidated by other people, and they look for petty ways to one up people and self-satisfy in their own minds how they're actually superior. And that's the sad part, I think, of human nature, fallen human nature, is that people look for ways to be better than other people that are just retarded. I mean, if you're actually better than other people, right? Okay, you have a better skill set, you're a better basketball player, whatever. But most people just look for some petty moral way. Oh, well, so-and-so did this and I'm better than that person. And you can usually, I mean, this is what haters, right? This is what haterade. They drinking haterade, dude. There's a lot of haters. And you don't realize how many haters there actually are until you have a little modicum of success. And then haters come out of the woodworks. And then you realize the wisdom of Biz Markie when he was talking about the vapors. Today, you're going to learn a little bit of life wisdom from my first tape I ever got. I found a Biz Markie tape on the ground, literally. And I remember listening to Biz Markie, and I thought, what is the vapors, right? And the whole song is about when you start having success, people come out of the woodwork, suddenly they hate your ass. Or they hated your ass the whole time. And then when you start having some success, and then they got to eat crow. So the best way to beat the haters is to have success and just move on and ignore them. But I can tell you, man, you get a lot of haters when you start having some success. You realize, man, people are just freaking envious, jealous. And you don't think about a large portion of people being that way because you are probably not that way. Right? You're a goodwill. Yeah, sure. You wish well for other people. You like seeing people succeed. A lot of people don't like seeing people succeed. It makes them feel inferior, like they got handed they got dealt a bad hand in life and it's all everybody else's fault. And so they would rather wallow in that and hate on you. I mean, and I hate that, like even friends, even relatives. You'll have friends and relatives that you think, okay, well, maybe they'll respect me if I start having some success. Now, it turns out they don't. They like you even less. FPV, you my boo, Jay. I love you. Uh-oh. I don't know if is that a dude? Airborne. Oh, we got gay military men in here trying to come at me. I'm straight, dude. I'm married, bro. Ain't no faking gay around here. It's straight. You need to move on to the grind, son. Anyway, some of y'all caught the vapors. That's all I'm gonna say. Y'all caught the vapors. Hades. No, we did that. Making sure I didn't miss a super chat here. Guys, remember to head on over to chalk.com, the best in supplementation on the internet. CHOQ.com. We had a great stream tonight. We got up to like 1,800 tonight. And we wasn't even playing video games, dog. Head on over to Chalk. Use promo code J60Life. That's JAY60LIFE. JAY60LIFE to get 60% off all the Chalk products over here at chalk.com. And that includes the Chad mode. That includes Chad Minerals. That's the Male Vitality Stack. That is all these products. 60% off. It's an amazing papal dispensation for Christmas that Seton gave me for J60 Life. Otherwise, thank you guys for showing up. A lot of fun tonight. A lot of laughs. We didn't really get into the Jeff Stein McEvery stuff, but that's okay. Rui says for $5. Next year, I want t-shirts. I want J. Dyer quotes on t-shirts. I also want them, though, to have flamingos and your signature. All right, we'll see what we can do. We're going to make 2026 the year of merch because so many people are saying, give me some merch, dude. Give me some merch. Okay. All right. Otherwise, everybody have a good night, and I will talk to you soon. Happy New Year's.